So yeah, they say drastic situations call for drastic measures. I'm not sure if this is drastic, but ultimately it's an urgent nature, right? Because what's going on at the moment requires attention. For those who are aware of the recent announcement by Donald Trump, Donald Trump was Nigeria, that he wants to come into Nigeria. He was basically telling the leadership within Nigeria to, sort out the insecurity problems or else. So that's the message. Sort this out ASAP or else. That's the message from the big Donny. That's the message from the big Donny, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not the type of person to mince his words, And a lot of Nigerian people, they've looked at that and they've decided, Big Donny is coming to save us. Big Donny, Big Donald Trump is coming to save us. Hallelujah. Alhamdulillah. Big Donald Trump is coming to save us. Maybe we need to be a bit careful. Maybe we need to analyze it a little bit further. Donald Trump help wa. Solution wa? Is that what's going to save us? Is that going to bring the solution to our problems? We have to analyze it. We have to look at it. What are the pros and cons? What are the options available to citizens of Nigeria that are currently under attack by the jihadists, the Islamists? Okay, they are currently under attack. What are the options available to us? How can we respond now that Trump is now putting his own weight in it? What are the options available to us? Báwo la ṣe máa dáhùn o? Kí ni a lè ṣe? Àwọn options wo ló wà fún wa láti lè sọ pé òkè báyìí la ṣe lè fẹ́ rìn ìrìn yẹn o? Ká bá lè gbára wálẹ̀ nínú ìgbèkùn nínú ewu tí àwọn olórí burúkú yìí tó ń pera wọn ní jihadist Islam Caliphate, àwọn Fúlàní tí wọ́n ń gbé wá sórí ilẹ̀ wa. So what are the things that we can do? That's what these are. What are the options available to us? And what are the pros and cons? What are the advantages and disadvantages of the options available to the citizens? Okay? As I've heard some people stating, as I've heard from a few people today already, ẹja dúró ni, ẹja dúró, Donald Trump ló máa gbà wálẹ̀. Trump the savior, the almighty Donald Trump, the almighty, the almighty white savior. This problem is beyond our own, comprehension, is beyond our own, what we can resolve for ourselves is beyond our own power, our own abilities, so we have to wait for Trump. I even heard somebody went as far as saying, at least the Americans may not unalive all of us. At least, even if it's, at least they, if we look at their history, they don't come with the intention of complete wipeout. Some of us, we may be captured as slaves. That's still better than the Fulani coming to attack and wipe us out. Some people made that argument today, and I was shocked by that. But look, everyone has their perspective. Everyone has an opinion. But why don't we look at it, objectively? Why don't we look at it objectively and weigh up all the options? Gbogbo ilé ẹjọ́ bá mi power tap, ẹjọ́ bá mi share. Torí pé èmi gan, an hour ago, I wasn't expecting to do this program today. An hour ago, I wasn't expecting to do this program, okay? I went for a lovely walk. I had a few business to take care of. And after that, I went for a walk by the sea, the breeze and the waves, and I was looking at the ocean. It was fantastic. And then I received a call from one of my from one of our baba, baba mi ti máa forúkọ bò wọ́n láṣìírí. He raised a concern, and it's something that I've been thinking about as well. It's something that I have also been thinking about. So nígbà tí bàbá mi wá raise concern yẹn, ló wá jẹ́ kó yé mi náà pé tòótọ́ dẹ̀ ní kíní yìí, nǹkan tẹ́mi náà sì ń rò tẹ́lẹ̀ ní kí báwo la ṣe máa ṣe ìrìn yìí, báwo la ṣe máa address nǹkan tó ń lọ lórí ilẹ̀ wa yìí. But energy conversation tí mo wá ní pẹ̀lú bàbá wa ló wá fún mi ní motivation láti sọ pé okay, jẹ́ máa bọ̀ ńlé, jẹ́ kí n délé kí sáré wá ṣe ètò yìí. O sórí ẹ̀ ni mo ṣe wá sílé. Ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa share, kẹ́ bá wa power tap o. Gbogbo ilé ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa share. Ẹ jẹ́ àtúrà láti mú as many people as possible wá sínú ètò yìí. As many people as possible la need nínú ètò yìí o. Ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa share, ẹ bá wa power tap, ká gbé as many people as possible wọlé, torí pé different people wọ́n máa ní different perspective, different people wọ́n máa ní different opinions. Ṣó ti yé yín? So kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ tán, kò sẹ́ni tó gbọ́n tán, kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ jù, kò sẹ́ni tó gbọ́n jù o. Gbogbo wa kò máa need láti fi ọgbọ́n kan ọgbọ́n ká bá fi lè gbọ́n sí, ká bá fi lè mọ ọ̀nà àbáyọ lórí ìdojúkọ tó dojúkọ wá yìí o. So a máa láti gbìyànjú ni láti fi ọwọ́ wẹ ọwọ́ kí a bá lè fọ ojú wa kó bá lè mọ́ nínú ìdojúkọ tí a bára wa nínú ẹ̀ yìí. So kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ tán, kò sẹ́ni tó nobody has the master key. Nobody has the final say. But what we can do is do some pros and cons. Look at all the options available to us. Ká wá sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ a wò tá bá ṣe báyìí, tá bá ṣe ìgbésẹ̀ wa báyìí, báwo ló kí ló lè já sí? Kí ló lè já sí? Tá bá ṣe báyìí, kí ló lè já sí? Tá bá ṣe báyìí, báwo ló ṣe lè lọ? So irú nǹkan tá máa ní láti ṣe nìyẹn, pé ká wo okay, kí ni àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tá lè gbé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ yìí bó ṣe ń ṣe wá yìí, àti pé tí àwọn ará àta tún fẹ́ wá dá sí yìí, àwọn ará àta tá bá dẹ̀ wo tó jẹ́ pé tá bá wo history wọn, they don't have a history of coming in and helping anybody. They only look after their own interest. Ṣó ti yé yín? Àwọn tá à ń sọ yìí, nǹkan táwọn wá táwọn máa jẹ làwọn ń wá, nǹkan táwọn máa fi sápò títí wọn làwọn ń wá. Àwọn ò wá pé bó ṣe máa wá da fún àwa adúláwọ̀, irọ́ tí wọ́n bàjẹ́ ò kàn wọ́n at all. And àwa tá bá pay enough attention á ti rí pé that is their own objective, that is their own national philosophy. Okay, that is their own national philosophy, that is their own foreign policy. Pé tí wọ́n bá tí àwọn aláwọ̀ dúdú yẹn tó bá tiẹ̀ ní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ gan-an, kò pé àwọn òyìnbó tó bá ń bára wọn jà, tó bá ń para wọn gángan làwọn nínú wọn máa ń dùn, torí pé ìyẹn máa ń fún àwọn láàyè láti wá wọlé sí wa lára, láti wá kó nǹkan kúrò nílẹ̀ wa. Àti pé tá bá ń bára wa jà, tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń dínkù yẹn, àwa gan tí wá help wa láti accelerate reduction process yẹn, torí pé àwọn gan ń wò pé a ti pọ̀jù lórí ilẹ̀ anyway. Tá bá pọ̀jù nílẹ̀ Áfíríkà, gbogbo àwọn nǹkan bíi gold, bíi diamond, bíi àwọn resources, àwọn minerals tó need, a wò pé àwọn pípì yìí ló máa jẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀. Kíní yóò ní kò ní kárì, kò ní tó àwa tá fẹ́ wá kó mọ́ wọn lára. So àwọn máa ń wò pé tí àwọn táláwọ̀ dúdú bá ti ń jà, àwọn máa ń rí àsì nǹkan tó dáa ni, nǹkan tó bá anything tó bá máa dí àwọn aláwọ̀ dúdú kù làwọn máa ń gbìyànjú sí. Àti pé tó bá jẹ́ ká àwa náà la fẹ́ díra wa kù, la fẹ́ para wa, that's like the perfect scenario fún àwọn tá à ń pè láwọn òyìnbó tó ń bọ̀ láti òkè òkun yìí. So báwo ló ṣe wá jẹ́ kí Trump, nígbà tó ti lé wọn ní àwọn countries bíi Niger, bíi Burkina Faso, bíi Mali, tí wọ́n ti lé wọn níbẹ̀ tó yẹ pé through France ló máa ń gba àwọn ìlú yẹn, ló máa fi ń kó àwọn nǹkan ọrọ̀ kúrò lórí àwọn ilẹ̀ yẹn. báwo ló ṣe máa jẹ́ tó wá jẹ́ pé àwọn náà wá ń wábi tó máa wá ti orí bọ̀ ọ́ torí pé gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n ti ń rí jẹ gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n ti ń jẹ lọ ó ti lé wọn kúrò ń bẹ́ẹ̀ o ó ti lé wọn kúrò ń bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn Niger àtàwọn Mali dẹ̀ ti sọ pé tẹ́ bá fẹ́ wá sórí bíbà yìí a máa bá yín jà a máa para wa sórí bíbà yìí ni o àwa ò tẹríba fún yín mọ́ o àwa ò tẹríba fún yín mọ́ ní Mali ní Niger ní Burkina Faso ló ń bá wọn sọ o tó ti yé yín pé ẹ̀yin òyìnbó àti ní kẹ́ wá máa kúrò ńlẹ̀ wa o àwa gan a fẹ́ wá máa ṣe ètò ìlú wa bó ṣe wù wá ni o tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ sọ pé fẹ́ padà wá pé fẹ́ wá bá wa jà àwa gan a rẹ́dì láti kú síbẹ̀ o torí pé àwa ò ní tàdí sẹ́yìn mọ́ kẹ́yìn wá máa kó ogun wa kẹ́ wá máa kó gbogbo àwọn ọrọ̀ wa gbogbo nǹkan ọrọ̀ gbogbo resources wa gbogbo àwọn materials wa kẹ́ wá máa kó mọ́ wọn lára àwọn countries yẹn ti sọ pé àwọn ò gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́ sẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn countries yẹn náà wọ́n ti wá wọ́ kí ló ṣe wọ́n ti wá ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń partner pẹ̀lú Russia àwọn gan ti wá ń gba modern military equipment àwọn náà ti ń lo drone fún àwọn tó bá ti ń pay attention recently wọ́n á mọ̀ kí Burkina Faso náà ti ń lo drone àwọn náà ti ń lo satellite so kò síbi táwọn òyìnbó yìí tí wọ́n ṣe lè gba kọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ṣe lè gba inú igbó yọ sí wọn mọ́ irọ́ àwọn gan ti ń lo modern technology láti fi run surveillance kọ́ bá fi lè mọ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń lọ lórí ilẹ̀ wọn tí nǹkan bá move níbì kan Traore ti mọ̀ tí nǹkan bá move níbì kan àwọn tó wà Mali ti mọ̀ tí nǹkan bá move níbì kan gbogbo wọn lọ́sìn mọ́ bí táwọn terrorists wọ́n sá pamọ́ sí ọ̀dẹ̀ ń pa wọ́n ni tó bá ti ń rí wọn báyìí wọ́n ń bẹ wọn ò wò ó ṣe fún wọn àtọ́ so they've got control those countries finally have control over their own security. They finally have control over their land. They finally have control over their resources. Bàbá mi olówó Oǹdó mi ṣe bá jú nílọ ṣé dáadáa ní sà. Ẹ ṣe tẹwà pẹ̀lú wa lónìí o. Níwá yín ti bá mi.
Mo ṣe làbọ̀ bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ o. Ẹ kú ètò.
Gbogbo àtọ́ asúre ìwòrò fún ẹ ṣé ó tẹwà pẹ̀lú wa lónìí o. Èdùmàrè á wà pẹ̀lú yín o nígbà gbogbo bàbá mi omi níyìn náà mo ṣe bá jú nílọ. So those countries already they now have control over their land and resources. Okay, so the white people, the French and the Americans who have been taking advantage of them for years, for centuries, they no longer have that access. And meanwhile, they still require those resources. They got fat. They were well fed when they had access to those resources. When they had the monopoly, not even access, when they had the monopoly over those resources, they were eating good. Okay, they were using it to develop their nations. But now, those countries in the Sahel, they've united and they're saying no more. Okay. Which then creates a situation, doesn't it? It creates a problem for those countries to look elsewhere for the resources that they need. Okay, which means France have to look elsewhere for the resources that they need. Okay, and we see every day, for those who are paying attention to the economy, the French economy is in a downward spiral. Okay, economy wọn ti ń lulẹ̀ ní France tó ní wọn ò rí jẹ mọ́ gbogbo gold tó máa ń kó ní Africa yẹn ọwọ́ wọn ò lè tẹ̀ mọ́ gbogbo àwọn resources gbogbo cobalt gbogbo àwọn minerals tí wọ́n máa ń rí kó lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ní gbogbo àwọn ìlú yẹn they can no longer do that. So they have to look elsewhere. They have to look into other regions, other territories for those same resources. Okay? And up comes Nigeria. Nigeria right now, they are the opposite of what we see, of the control, of the structure, of the organization that we see in the Sahelian countries. Okay, that we see in Burkina Faso, that we see in Niger, that we see in Mali, is the opposite of that is what we see going on in Nigeria. There is no security in Nigeria. The leaders, the government have no control over their land. They don't have any control over who's coming in and who's going out. They don't have over control over law and order. Okay? And this lack of control, this insecurity, this lack of basic structure and governance is what the bandits are taking advantage of. Okay? So the bandits, they have looked at it as an opportunity. Okay? So the bandits are now taking advantage of that lack of security. Okay? That lack of governance, that lack of response to, to terrorism. Okay? That's what the bandits are taking advantage of. Because they've looked at the situation and they've determined, this is easy, this is easy peasy. Okay? We can go into any town, any city in Nigeria, as long as we know that it's got what we are after, we can come in there, scare the people, unalive a few people, and then chase them off their land. And after they've been chased off their land, what happens next? We start seeing some foreigners coming into those same places and start setting up mining equipment. We see foreigners, we see Chinese, we see different foreigners, we see even Albanians. Okay, different foreign people, different foreigners are now coming in once the Fulani have cleared the path. Okay, once they've cleared the path for them, then the foreigners come in and they set up their mining equipment and they start mining for gold. They start mining for and other resources and other minerals in those areas. So where does that leave us as Nigerians? It means some people have determined that Nigerian lives are basically collateral. It means some people have decided that Nigerian lives are worthless. So if we look at there are multiple ways we can look at this. From an inside looking up or looking out, it appears that some people are externally they decided that Nigerian lives are collateral. That if they need resources, if they need the materials and those natural resources, those minerals, they can come and just, destroy a town, unalive people that are living there, scare them off their land, and then take over. Some people have decided that from the outside, they've decided that clearly. In addition to that, also internally, the leaders who are supposed to be protecting the citizens, it appears that they have also decided that, the citizens' lives is not worth protecting because they don't want to risk or jeopardize the relationship they've got with these foreign bodies, with these foreigners, with these foreign companies that are coming to take advantage of our destruction. It appears that the leaders have determined or have decided that it's fair game. That's what it looks like, because clearly the government is not doing anything about it. The government are not chasing after the bandits and bringing them into justice. Even when bandits get arrested, what do we see happening? Then they get released again. We've seen that. So what does that tell us? It tells us at least it could only be one of two things, right? It could only be that the Nigerian government are complicit in what's going on. That means they have a hand in it. They are involved in it. They are colluding with Fulani and foreign agents to destroy, to steal land and resources and unalive people in that process in Nigeria. Okay, that's option one. It could either be only one of two options: that they are complicit, they are involved in it, and they are colluding with foreigners, because Fulani are foreign to Nigeria as well. So they are included in that. But foreigners and Fulani, that means the Nigerian government are in collusion with them against their own citizen, at the expense of their own citizen. That's option one. Or the second option is that Nigeria is now a sovereign country. that the Nigerian government are only there for for basically just as caricatures. That Nigeria is not a sovereign nation. That Nigerian government don't have the power to stop the Fulani. They don't have the power to stop the bandits because the orders are coming from outside of the country. Because it's other people, so that means the orders, which is basically the protection that the bandits are getting, that means is coming from somewhere higher up. And what could be higher up than the Nigerian government on Nigerian land? It means foreigners. It could only mean what? The neo-colonists, the former colonists. We have to look in that direction then. Because there is no way you're telling me that Nigeria is a sovereign country and this is going on under their noses and they can't do anything about it. It's either it's not a sovereign country and they cannot do anything about it because it's not a sovereign country, because they are taking orders from somewhere else instructing the Nigerian government not to do anything, not to intervene. It's either that or they are complicit, which means they are colluding with those bandits and those foreigners to basically, steal land, steal resources. And if humans just happens to be in the way, if Nigerian citizens just happen to be in the way, well, they're collateral, they're fair game. So it could only be one of the two. So so as citizens, that's our perspective. We don't have any other way to look at it as citizens. We don't have any other choices. Okay, it could either be one of those two. So what does that mean then? So which means as citizens, regardless of what it is, we are on our own. Regardless of what the reality is, I have provided two rational options, but regardless of what it is, it means as citizens, we are on our own. So what do we do when we find ourselves in that kind of scenario? As Nigerian citizens, what do we do? What options do we have? How do we move forward? What can we do to protect ourselves, our land, our properties, our children, our wives, our elderly people, our children? So what can we do as citizens to protect it? This is what this presentation is designed to analyze and explore. Okay, so welcome everybody joining us today. So this is Yoruba Ronu Publishing. This is Ori Rere, MDotBravo speaking to you on behalf of our sponsors, Yoruba Ronu Publishing. So for everyone coming in, please power tap and share the live as we're going. So it's a slightly different topic today. This is not one of the courses that we've been teaching and stuff like that. This is politics now. From time to time we have to dip into other matters. Okay, so this is not under the umbrella of Yoruba Learning Academy. No, this is just a basic Yoruba Ronu foundation on the matters of politics, and we're looking at the crisis that's happening in Nigeria and what it means for the Nigerian citizens, and what are the options available to us? How do we respond as citizens? Yami Irenitemi, thanks for the gift of Momo Lori Owo Yama Roki Lagbare Dumari. Eshewu. So for others as well, please share the live, power tap as we're going. Okay. So we're going to be delving into it. We're going to be going into more detail. I just wanted to provide a bit of a background, just in case there are people out there who have not been paying attention, or maybe they're not familiar with what's been going on. So I just wanted to provide that quick background before we go into detail. So if anyone else, if there are other people who are interested in this topic, if you would like to come up, then send a request. Ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, ẹ̀yin ìyá wa, tẹ́ bá fẹ́ dá sórí ètò yìí, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ send request kẹ́yìn náà máa bọ̀ lókè o. Kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ tán, kò sẹ́ni tó gbọ́n tán o. A máa ń fi ọgbọ́n wẹ ọgbọ́n kábàlẹ̀ wọ́n sí kábàlẹ̀ kọ́ sí ni. A dẹ̀ máa fi ọwọ́ wẹ ọwọ́ kí ojú bá lè mọ́. A máa fi ọwọ́ wẹ ọwọ́, a dẹ̀ máa fi wẹ ojú wa kábàlẹ̀ fi ríbi tá à ń lọ. Mo ṣe bá dún ní lọ. Ìyá mi Ire ní tèmi, love that beautiful name, Ire ní tèmi. What an amazing name. Ẹ ṣeun o, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́, ẹ kú àtàtàárọ̀ ìyá mi, ṣé dáadáa ni o. Bàbá mi Aṣíwájú relax. abiyamọ nìyẹn abiyamọ ni mò ń ké sí yẹn o ṣé dáadáa ní bàbá o ṣé dáadáa ní tilé táyà tọmọ o a máa rí yín bá níwá yín sì lágbára Èdùmàrè mo kí yín o gbogbo àtọ́ bàbá thank you so much for the gift o. May you be rewarded abundantly. So it's a slightly different topic today, and I will try to. I don't want to take everyone's time. I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'll try to go through it as quickly as possible. But then you come back and feel free to send requests. Okay, but we've all heard the recent news about when Trump is basically saying, issuing a warning to the Nigerian government. Obviously, Trump is on the outside, right? I don't know if he's intentionally from his part, or maybe this is just the report he's received. He seemed to think this is only a problem for Christians. He seems to think that the problem in Nigeria, the problem of insecurity in Nigeria, Donald Trump is of the viewpoint, at least at the moment, based on what's been conveyed through the news, that is the only Christians are being killed, are being unalived. But for those of us who are closer to the ground, we know that it's much more complicated than that. It is not okay. It's not a simple, they're unaliving Christians. No, it's more than that. It's deeper than that. Okay, it's deeper than that. If Muslims or even some mosques have been attacked, even Muslims have been unalived, because when these bandits come, they don't tell people to form a line and then say, Christians, stand on the right. Muslims, you stand on the right. Onisheshe stand in the middle, and then we are only going to be gunning down the Christians. No, that's not the way it happens. Whenever they come into a town, they try to they take the lives at random. They're not saying, who's the Christian, who's the Muslim. They're not doing that. They're not saying, okay, let me see the length of your beard. If you've got a long beard, that means you're Muslim. Or if you're wearing a hijab or scarf, that means you're Muslim. So we're gonna spare you. No, they're not doing that. They're coming in and they're spraying people at random with the purpose of what? To scare the people off their land. And there is no better way of doing that than obviously shedding blood. Once you start shedding blood, people start scrambling and running for it. Okay, but so that's the method and that's the approach they're taking. Obviously, President Donald Trump may not be aware of that. He may be aware or he may not be aware of that. But as citizens, we need not worry ourselves about that. We have to look at what are the options available to us. Bàbá mi omini
àbọ̀rọ̀ ìsà mi fẹ́ kẹ́ máa lo F1 sà mi fẹ́ kẹ́
ọ̀nà live la máa sọ gbà yẹn.
àbọ̀rọ̀ ìsà
ogbó àtọ́ba mi.
mi fẹ́ kẹ́ lo F1 word ẹ máa lo fine or ọ̀nà live.
Okay.
ẹ sà.
ẹ ṣeun bá mi mo mọ lórí
or ọ̀nà live or fine.
Totally. Thanks for the warning, sir. Much appreciated. So yeah, gbogbo ilé bá mi tẹ phone wa ní ṣìṣe lórí TikTok o lágbára Èdùmàrè. So basically that's what's going on. But we have to look at, we are as citizens, we've been put in a position now where we have to think about what's best for us as citizens. What is best for us as citizens? What are the options available to us? What are the actions we can take as citizens? Okay, as some people have already declared, anyway, let's go through the details. So citizen response options is what we're focusing on. So let's just go through the details, okay? So overview, the reality of insecurity, okay? So rise in violence is something we've all heard about. Displacement and land occupation by armed factions is what's going on, okay? And also the response of the security services like the army, like the police, have been extremely non-existent, actually, okay? Has been extremely weak, which means the rule of law is very weak. There is poor policing. Even the police are avoiding the issue. And political complicity. The politics are pretending like it's not going on. They're not saying anything about it. They're not offering solutions. Okay, clearly they feel unaffected by the issue, so they feel like it's not their own problem. So nǹkan táwọn wò nìyẹn. Prince Ọláìtó ẹ ṣeun bá mi o, ẹ ṣeun bá mi. Thanks for joining again o, mo mọ̀ ọ́ lóore o. Yeah, thanks for the gift. So yeah, Baba Miomini, thanks for the gift as well. So obviously they're looking at it as they are it doesn't affect them, so it's none of their business, right? That's the attitude of the of the politicians. Okay, and obviously we know that the first people who are mostly affected, the group, the demographic mostly affected are the farmers and the rural dwellers facing attacks and loss of livelihoods. We know that. Obviously, they're not only attacking farmers, but it just so happens that if you look at farms, they have a large territory. Okay, and so it's easy if you want to take land. If you take a farm, it's as good as taking 10 different houses in a city. If you go into a rural place and you take a whole farm, that's a whole land, and you don't have to worry too much about basically about breaking knocking down the buildings. You don't have to worry too much about that because farms are usually on the ground, which means there is no tall building to knock down. Which is why when you look about these land grabbers, these bandits, they favor and they prioritize the occupation of lands like farms and rural areas because there is not a lot of deconstruction to do over there. Okay, and communities that are faced with this issue, citizens that are faced with these problems, we must decide, what do we want to do? Do we want to wait for the Nigerian government to do something about it? Do we want to appeal for foreign aid for Donald Trump to come and save us? Or do we want to put our own matters into our own hands? Do we want to put our lives, our resources, our families into our own hands and start defending ourselves? And start organizing ourselves and start protecting our land and resources. Okay, so those are the options available to us as citizens. Okay, it's about time that we face those facts. It's about time that we woke up to those realities, because it's very, very clear that what's been going on will continue to go on. If anything, it's only getting worse. And nobody's coming to save us. At least not so far. No one's offering themselves as saviors yet. So as citizens, we have a decision to make. These are the options we are currently faced with. So let's delve into it in a bit more detail. So the purpose of this presentation is basically to explore, to look at those options and then see, okay, what are the pros and cons? What are the advantages and disadvantages of the options that we are faced with as Nigerian citizens, citizens of Nigeria? What are the pros and cons? What are the advantages and disadvantages of those options that we are faced with? Okay. Option 1, citizens do nothing, wait for the government to act. Okay, that's option 1. Let's look at the pros and cons, the advantages and the disadvantages of that option. Obviously, the pros, of that option is avoiding escalation or vigilante abuses. That could be one of the advantages of waiting for the government to do something about it. This option preserves states' monopoly on force, states' monopoly on security. It means that by waiting for this option, it means that no vigilante groups, no citizens protection, you could say protection security will be set up. Okay, that's the advantage. But does that benefit this advantage? Does it benefit the citizens? Maybe the first one benefit, maybe it could benefit the citizens, but the second one doesn't benefit the citizens. If the citizens are calling for America and Russia to come and protect, to come and save, to come and secure them, then clearly they don't care about the states having monopoly over rule of law, over the protection of lives and property. That's clear, right? They just want to be safe. They just want to be protected. They just want to be secure. So the citizens don't care about, maintaining the state monopoly, maintaining the government monopoly on police force, on security. Okay, the citizens don't benefit anything from that. They just want law and order to be maintained on their land and for lives and property to be protected. Okay, let's look at the cons, disadvantages of option one. Violence persists, displacement increases, and we see that going on already. We see that happening already. That violence hasn't stopped. The longer way the citizens have been waiting for the government to act. They've waited for different governments to come in. They've got different governments, different parties have come and gone, and nothing has changed. If anything, it's getting worse. The violence is persisting, and displacement is increasing. Communities, while they're waiting, they remain soft targets. Okay, while the communities are waiting for the government to intervene, they have become sitting ducks. They have become soft targets for the bandits. Okay, and conversely, the bandits are now encouraged. They are encouraged to attack those different places with impunity. Nothing is getting in their way. They've got a free reign on just entering any town that they want, buying a few people that they want, chasing the rest of the land, and then the Chinese and the Indian and the other nationalities start coming in to harvest, start coming in to set up mining camps. Okay, bringing in mining equipment. That's what we are seeing, okay? And which obviously the current impunity erodes trust. There is no trust. We don't trust Nigerian police to protect us. We don't trust the Nigerian army to protect us. We don't trust the Nigerian government to protect us because they're not doing that, are they? We see what's going on is getting worse. More and more lives are being lost. More and more people have been displaced off their land and property. So nothing is happening. So if we're looking at this option, and we look at the likelihood of this option being the solution, we have to conclude, and it's very clear, that the likelihood of this option being the solution is very, very low. Okay, the likelihood of this option improving safety is very, very low, especially where government inaction persists, where the government are sitting on their hands and they're not doing anything about it. They're not stopping the bandits. Even when they accidentally catch maybe one or two bandits, they're letting them go. Okay, like I said earlier, which could only mean that the government are either complicit or they are receiving orders elsewhere. Okay, so option one, we can already discount option one. It's not going to work. Let's look at option two. And I've been hearing a lot of people in the last week or so, in the last few days especially, saying yes, Donald Trump is issued a warning. Donald Trump is gonna come and save us. Yes, the Americans are gonna come and save us. Oh yes, the good old United States Army. Oh yes, they are coming to save us. They'll tell our government what to do. They'll tell them they'll come and save us, and when they finish saving us, they'll go back to their country, leave us out with our land. Now, they'll come and fight for us. They'll come and fight for our our sovereignty and survival. That's a very comical perspective, isn't it? If we consider the history of the United States Army, that's a very, very naive perspective, isn't it? But we know that our, black people, African people, we've got that white savior complex, haven't we? Okay, we see it in Christianity, we see it in Islam, which majority of Nigerians are. Majority of Nigerians are Muslims or they're Christians. So they've got the white savior complex, haven't we? We are always expecting others to come and save us, right? It's the same way we worship in foreign gods. It's an extension of how we always looking up to other, to external people or to foreigners to come and save us. Okay, anyway, so gbogbo ilé ẹjọ bá mi power tap omi ìmọ̀ bóyá TikTok ló ń drop àwọn èèyàn ẹjọ bá mi power tap. I don't know if maybe some people didn't like what I said about the white savior complex. Maybe that's why they drop. Maybe it's TikTok dropping people. I don't know. But please, everyone, please power tap. Let's try and go as fast as we can. King, what's that? King IB5, if I'm reading it correctly, says both religion has done more harm to black communities mentally. Absolutely, absolutely, because we still see it today. Right, we see what's going on today. Yami Dara Resimi Moshe Badunilo Shida Daniel Kabo So yeah, we see it happening already. We are already looking up to the white man to come and save us, right? Donald Trump is now the Jesus now. He's the 2025 white Jesus. We're looking at him to come and save us. But where in history have they ever done that? Where in history, in their history or our history, have they ever done that? Anyway, it is an option nevertheless, because we have to, for intellectual integrity, we have to look at all options, okay, objectively. We have to present all options and then look at the pros and cons, okay? Look at the advantages and disadvantages of each option. So we don't want to we don't want to prejudice the outcome of this session. We don't want to prejudice the outcome of this presentation. Okay, let's go through it. So option 2, wait for foreign United States military intervention. Let's wait for Daddy Trump to come and save us. That's option 2. Let's look at it. What could the advantages and disadvantages of this option be? Okay. Advantages could bring quick suppression if it ever happened. Clearly, they've got bigger weapons. Okay, so if they decide to come to the aid of Nigerians, let's just say, miracles do happen. Let's say that maybe this is one of those modern miracles. Okay, that the Trump administration decides that they've got nothing better to do than to come over and save Nigerians. Let's assume let's assume the possibility of that. Okay, that they've decided that they don't have anything better to do than to come and save Nigerian lives. Okay, let's do, because a lot of people seem to think it's plausible, right? A lot of people seem to think it's actually it could happen, but okay. Let's have a look at the pros and cons. Obviously, if that were to ever happen, it would bring quick suppression, okay? They would be able to suppress the bandits. They would be able to suppress them 100%. And obviously, if America decides to get involved, that it would attract global attention, wouldn't it? So those are the advantages. Let's have a look at the disadvantages. It is highly unrealistic. Why would they? They have nothing to gain by doing that. What would America have to gain by coming to save Nigerians in Nigeria? Why would they do that? What could they possibly gain from that? For what purpose? It cannot happen. It doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? I don't think it's possible. Okay, it is highly unrealistic. Okay, because at least on the surface, Nigeria is projected as a sovereign nation, right? At least on the surface, it is arguable. Some people can argue that it's not a sovereign nation, but at least on the surface, like publicly, they're projecting it as a sovereign nation. So clearly, America cannot do that. Okay, it would also damage its sovereignty. If you are claiming that you remember what's at stake here. What's at stake is the lives, property, and sovereignty of Nigerians. If you wanted to protect that, you cannot then tell another country an army of foreign army to come and save you, because what do you lose then? The first thing you lose when a foreign army come to your land is your sovereignty. So you see, it's an oxymoron, isn't it? It's an oxymoron, isn't it? Because you on one hand you don't want to lose your sovereignty to Fulani, and on the other hand you're saying, America, please come in. So you rather lose your sovereignty to America. Which is the which of those two parties is bigger? Is a bigger challenge? We can still fight the Fulani, but we can't fight America. If America decides that, okay, look, they're coming to overtake, to take over our land. Clearly, if America comes in, they're not going to be taking orders from Nigerian police, are they? They're not going to be taking orders from Nigerian army, are they? Because when America comes in, it signals that the country has failed. It signals that it is now theirs. They say, United Nations, one of their laws is that spoils of war belongs to the victors. Spoils of war belongs to whom? The victors. So if America were to come in and they successfully chase Fulani off the land, and they buy them or whatever, then they become the new owners of the land. So that option is so ridiculous. And Nigerians, we've got a lot of work to do to educate ourselves politically. Okay, we've got a lot of work to do to educate ourselves politically, because too many of us are still too naive about geopolitics. Too many of us are still too naive about geopolitics. We don't understand it, and it shows. With the attitude of a lot of Nigerians this week and their celebration that, oh yeah, Donald Trump is going to come and save us. It was so disappointing. I, for one, was very, very much disappointed that, wow, I can't believe Nigerians are still this ignorant. Clearly not all Nigerians, but too many people, too many of us are still too ignorant. Too many of us. I cannot believe in 2025 that we are seeing America coming in as a good thing. Which country has that ever helped? If we look at Iraq, if we look at Libya down there, how has it helped them? Somebody says, Teru ABK, the Igbos are the ones celebrating. We know that the Igbos are clowns now, don't they? Because they, in their own retarded minds, they think if Nigeria is destroyed, it would give them a better option of coming to take over the ruins. That's their thinking, right? They think if Nigeria is destroyed, that, oh yeah, they will come and it would give them a better opportunity of coming to take over the ruins. That's in their sick mind. That's what they think is going to happen. So the Igbos are the ones celebrating America coming in. We know that those people, a lot of them are clowns, especially the ones. I know some very good Igbo people that I have a lot of respect for, but the ones we see and hear on social media, a lot of them, they're basically like, they're pantomimes. We're talking about, like clowns here. Okay? So it's like, basically, it's like somebody who lives in a road, right? It's like someone who lives in a street where there are a lot of people, affluent people in that neighborhood. They have nice houses, they have nice cars, they have good families, and they're living good, okay? And you're living a hut. Instead of walking your way up the ladder, you're praying for an earthquake. That's the Igbo mentality. Okay, instead of basically you find yourself in a healthy neighborhood where the neighbors are doing well, they got money, they got nice houses, they got nice cars, their children are attending nice schools, but because you find yourself in poverty, you live in a hut. Instead of working your way up, instead of taking advantage of the economy, instead of looking at the people that are affluent as basically a signal that, okay, if you work as well, maybe you might be able to attain a similar status if you put the work in. But instead of looking at that, you're praying for an earthquake. Because in your sick mind, you're thinking, well, at least if there's an earthquake, it puts everybody on the same level. Nobody's gonna have houses anymore. Then it makes me feel that would make me feel better about my condition because it puts everybody on an even ground. That's the mentality of most of these Igbo people, most of these clowns that we see on social media. That's their mentality. Okay? That's the way they think. They're sick in the mind. They're sick in the head. A lot of them are sick like that. So yeah, that's where we can't concentrate. We can't spend too much time on those on clowns like that. Okay, we have to just bypass them. Like, they are underdeveloped mentally. A lot of them are really, really underdeveloped mentally. So their mind is not working the way it's supposed to. So hopefully they can heal in future. But at the moment, we've got work to do. So we have to work with the people that have a matured mentality who actually want progress. You understand? So the clowns, after we finish winning our battles and the challenges that we're currently faced with, once we've overcome those challenges, we're going to need entertainment, we're going to need jesters, we're going to need clowns. We invite the best of them to come and make us laugh when we get there. But at the moment, we've got challenges on our hands, so we haven't got time for their entertainment. They're very entertaining, those clowns, but at the moment we just got more serious matters to attend to. But when we finish attending to these serious matters, we will have time for those clowns later. Okay. So that's all I'm gonna say about those cowards, okay? Those clowns. That's all I'm gonna say about them, okay? So if we're looking at this option, like I said, on one hand, it is highly unrealistic. On the other hand, it will automatically damage what we're trying to protect. We're trying to protect our land and sovereignty, and we're inviting a foreign power to come and help us. What does that mean? That means automatically by default we lose our sovereignty. So it's a ridiculous expectation. It's a backwards. It's an oxymoron. Okay, so we need to engage our medulla oblongata. It has to be working faster than this. It has to be working better than expecting America to come and save us on our land. Okay, we have to be capable of better thinking than that. And if we are not, then we deserve everything that's coming to us. Okay, because the rule of nature is evolve or perish, right? The rule of nature is what? Evolve or perish. So if we are not evolving and this is the best we can come up with, is America to come and save us, then we deserve everything that's coming to us. Because the first rule of nature is what? Evolution. So you evolve or you perish. And if we are saying this is the best solution we could come up with, it means we have not evolved. It means we don't belong in the current in the 21st century. That's what it means. If this is the best we can come up with, then that means we don't belong in the 21st century, and we would, by default, deserve everything that happens to those who fail. When we look in the animal kingdom, those animals who fail to evolve, what happens to them? They perish, right? So King JB says, did America delay the ammunition Nigerian military was expecting? Of course. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Because in addition to that, it's not, we're going to get to that. Yeah, very good point, but please hold that thought. We're going to get to that. So, and also let's imagine that, okay, our white Jesus, our daddy America, daddy Trump comes in and he decides that, he's got nothing better to do. Okay, that it would come in with the purpose of saving us, not even taking our land. It determines that after chasing Fulani, off the land, all those bandits, after removing them from the land, it would then take Nigeria, wrap it in a lovely little bow tie, okay, wrap it in a shiny little box, in a Christmas box, with teddy bear imprinted on it, and tie it up in a little bow tie, and then give it to us like, oh, my lovely Nigerians, I have conquered for you. Now here's your Nigeria. You can have it back. Here you go. Oh, my lovely little Nigerians. I have conquered your enemies. Here's your land and resources. You can have it back with a little bow tie on top of it. Okay? Let's imagine that Trump decides to do that, right? Let's imagine that he decides that clearly that's the outcome. Some of us, that's the outcome that we're aiming for, right? That's the outcome we're hoping for, right? Okay, let's imagine, if that were to happen, then what happens afterwards then? So obviously, clearly Americans, let's imagine, once they've handed Nigeria back to us with a bow tie, and they decide to return back to their country, what happens then? What happens then? Because we have already demonstrated that we are incapable of protecting our own land and sovereignty. So if America were to come in as these little angels that some of us are expecting them to be, and they decide to conquer our enemy for us and give Nigeria back to us with a little bow tie on top, and then they return, what happens then? What happens then? After we've already demonstrated that we are incapable of protecting our land. Clearly, that success is going to be short-lived, right? Okay, it's going to be short-lived. And what happens to the citizens and the government then? Because the government at that point would have proven what? To be incompetent. So when America goes, are the citizens going to be then submit back to under such governance again? Are we going to then submit? I want to prove run. They cannot run our country. So if America were to come and conquer for our enemy and then leave, are the citizens going to then submit back under rule of law in Nigeria? Clearly not. Clearly there's going to be carnage. Okay, so it doesn't make any sense. So again, if we're then doing the mathematics, looking at the pros and cons of this option, then a rational mind could only conclude that it is not a viable or sustainable option. It is not a viable option, but let's assume miracles do happen. Clearly, it is not sustainable, right? It is not sustainable. So, Zenith, Claire, thanks for the gift. May you be rewarded abundantly. Much appreciated. Mike Baba, thanks for the gift as well. May you be rewarded abundantly. Zenith, welcome on board. Please go ahead if you've got any contributions.
Yeah, good evening, my brother. You see,
good evening.
I had a lot of people saying the Americans are coming to take our resources. I was ashamed because they don't know how the world politics go. You see, where we are in Kuwait, they don't have army, they don't have navy. It is the Americans that is protecting them. Even they have like 5 battalions of Bangladesh army stationed in their country. So now, during their war with Iraq, they went and solicit for help from United States. The American come, they conquer Iraq, give them back their country and their oil. They now agreed that we will take some percentage of your oil. Then we will protect your country and give you leverage. My brother, if you come to Kuwait, I don't think it's only few European countries that is more beautiful than Kuwait. I'm enjoying light here free. I'm enjoying water here free, in as much as I can pay for house rent. Now, we have resources. Only few people are controlling it. You go to North, there is oil. They are drilling it. They don't bring it out. Good. If you go to Cross River State, there is this lithium they used to run battery. They are mining it. It's not at the center. So we have these resources. They are not using it for the citizens. We are suffering. No light, no road, no good medical, nothing. Humanity that we can say we are boast of upon all these deposits God has blessed us with. We only have people who are just there to scavenge the country. Now, if we talk of the situation of Nigeria, if you have kidnapping value, you cannot go to your village, even if you are from Okiti State, even if you are from Advocacy, even if you are from the east, even if you are from the north, you will only remain in the city because it's risky to travel home to go and see your people. You might go, you might not come back. You are not owing anybody. So what we are trying to say here is that if there is any way the Messiah will come to fix this country, let it fix it. It is even better we have rescue from the Americans than the Britain. The Americans are better than the British, who are even owing us ransom. They are the one who owed us ransom. You see all these things. If you look at the way Nigeria is today, most states that have crisis have one deposit or the other beneath them. Most states that have crisis, this insurgency
of course
problem. Yes. If you see any state that is free, that state has nothing to contribute in terms of mineral resources. If you watch most African countries, look at Sudan today. Sudan is worse than Nigeria. Do you know why?
Of course.
They have deposit.
Yeah.
Indirectly.
And so did Libya. Go ahead.
Indirectly, when people talk of Nigerian army, I will just laugh. We don't have any army again. We only have soldiers. The army have been split, divided, and diffused by tribal sentiment and religious differences. The army is one-sided. The opinion of the soldiers are not together like before. Before, Nigerian army was the NATO of Africa. If there is a crisis in Africa, any African nation, they will hit Nigerian army to first of all enter. Before you will see the presence of UN, Nigerian army will be there to quench the crisis. Even the white army, the white marine will be afraid to enter without us. But today, the reverse is the case. Because the mind of the men in the service are not together anymore. You understand? So now, if there is tendency for the US to intervene to wipe out all these menace of bandit, terrorism, kidnapping, and all these things to end it, let it be so that we can be free. As a citizen of Nigeria, 80% of the citizens don't depend on government to survive. We labor, we suffer, we hustle. That is why you see majority are in diaspora, just to try to bring something to the table to help families. We don't depend on the government. So government should please free us to suffer and help ourselves the way we are helping ourselves. But now, farmers cannot go to farm. Just like that. You see, for instance, our cement today, someone decide the price. Only one person decide the price they sell cement. And nobody is asking question. The same thing is happening to our fuel today. Only one person decide how much they are selling fuel. People are not talking. People are not asking question. And you are talking of resources. Which resources? The resources that me and you doesn't even know how they are doing about it. Only few family are sharing it. So I plead and I'm still asking if our people should wake up from their slumber. They should know that the position our country is today, we cannot remedy it. It demands external intervention from those who cares. From those who cares. It's not all about Muslim or Christian. It has gone beyond that now. We need external intervention because the politicians who you think that will remedy it are just managers to the United States. Nigeria is a business. It's not a company. It's not a country. Nigeria is a company.
Did you hear that? I was waiting for you to land.
Wait,
I was waiting for you to land. But did you hear what you just said there?
That is ignorant.
I'm coming.
No, King, please be patient,
wait,
King. Everyone is going to get a chance to speak.
Do you know why Abacha did not stay long? I will not be too.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Wrap it up in 60 seconds.
So Abacha came in and discovered that John Holt and the rest of them, liver brothers, they produce outside, they come here to sell. They produce outside, they come here to sell. Abacha said no, produce here, employ people here. Produce here and employ people here, then you sell. If not, pack out. He went to NNPC. He said no. This. They say, people, they started influencing them. They started going on strike. He said, he sent soldiers. He said, go there. If anybody strike, abolish his appointment. Take the subordinates and replace him. He was doing all these things. They sanctioned Nigeria. Abacha said, if you sanction me militarily, I will go to India and start purchasing military equipment. When they sanctioned Nigeria, Abacha went to India and started purchasing military equipment. That was when you see Tata from India came into Nigeria. They started supplying army, truck, guns, and all these things. Now, to where I'm going now is this. If you think about this problem we are facing today, our politicians are managers. They are managing British company in Africa. Nigeria is not a country. It's a company owned by British and some.
You changed it now. Initially, you said there's a company, Nigerian, basically managing the country on behalf of America. But now you've said British. But
No,
please wrap
British,
up 30 seconds to wrap up your summation, please.
Yeah, British. It is British, not America. It's
All
British.
right, all right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
That is where I'm going.
We appreciate your contribution. So thank you so much for that. Let me just acknowledge a few people. Babami Atamata se mo se ba jini lo, se dada ni ba mi. Thanks for joining us today. Send request to Inda. Okay. Ìyá mi dára ìrísí mi. Thanks for joining us. So inú mi dúpẹ́ wà pẹ̀lú wa lálẹ́ yìí. Ìdùnmọ̀ni àwa pẹ̀lú yìí náà. Thanks for the gift. Thanks for Jamie. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. For others, if you have not shared, please go ahead and share. And to be honest with you, like I said, we are only looking at the options available to citizens. We have to look at the all options objectively. Okay, and everyone's gonna have their opinions, but we are going to analyze each opinions on the basis of pros and cons. So let's not look at it as attacking personalities. It's definitely not about personalities. Let's look at the pros and cons of what we are looking at, of the options. Okay, we've looked at the option one, which is basically relying on the government. Okay, the citizens sitting around and relying on the government to come and save them. That was option one. And our conclusion was what option one is, there is a low likelihood of that option improving safety because the government is not doing anything. So where government inaction persists, clearly nothing changes. The citizens will continue to suffer and lose more lands, lives and resources. Okay, that was option one. Option two is wait for the foreign military intervention, the United States Army, the white daddy, the daddy Trump, to come and save us. We've looked at the advantages of that. It could bring quick suppression if it ever happened. And that's where Zenith was coming from. It was right. From that perspective, if the white daddy were to come into Nigeria, it would definitely bring quick suppression of the insecurity. 100%. They've got bigger army, they've got bigger guns. The Fulani herdsmen, they're going to disappear, okay? Or they're going to be buyed. We know that. And obviously, America coming in creates a more global attention. So yes, it would garner more attention, more foreign press to come and look at what's going on in our land, and we'll get a lot more attention that way. Yes, but we have to look at the sovereignty, okay? Because when we are not Kuwait, my brother. Nigerian population alone, America can now say, oh yeah, let's just come and station a few battalion, a few soldiers, and they'll be able to take care of the whole country. Nigeria is too big, Nigeria is too vast, Nigeria is too complex. We don't all speak the same language. Nigeria is too complex for America to just say, let's just station a few soldiers here and there, and then they'll be able to govern Nigeria and protect us. No, it cannot happen that way. It's impractical. I think so. But obviously, you offered your opinion. I'm responding to it. Everyone has a right to their opinion. Okay? So, I already said it's not realistic, but look, miracles do happen. Even if the miracle were to happen, it would damage our sovereignty. Okay? And it would only fuel extremist propaganda. Okay, because we know that America, the pretext that they use when they want to come and steal land and resources is they always come up with a narrative of terrorism, of extremism, don't they? That's what they do. And obviously, if America were to come in, are we saying we're going to be their subjects forever? Then that means that's colonization. Basically, we are asking for colonization with this option. That's what we are asking for. We are asking to be colonized again if we were to champion this option. So we have to be careful about that, because the history of colonization in African countries is not, it's not a pretty one. It's not a pretty one, okay? It has never worked in our favor. In Africa, we are not Kuwait. It has never worked in our favor, okay? So the summary of this option so far is that option 2 is not viable. We have other options, but I know that a few people have come up who would like to speak. Babami J-Links, Shedadani, Babami Shedadani. I think you came up after Zenith. So if you have anything you would like to contribute, pardon me, at this point, then please go ahead and on mute and offer your submission. J-Links, if you would like to contribute.
Apology for where I am. It's very noisy, but please bear with me. I greet you. I greet everyone here. I think I can see. First and foremost, thank you for the good work you are doing.
Thank you.
Promoting the culture, cultural heritage is not something that should be taken with child play. And then thank you for all you do.
Thank you, sir. Much
Without
appreciated.
wasting more to, yeah, welcome. The thing is, this matter is quite dicey, and I would like to. I will go in the line that we should not attack anybody and not attack any personality. I like Zenith to. I just want Zenith to probably. He has discussed the positive of the idea. Does he have an idea of? Can he discuss the negative of the idea and the ways of? If he can, if he cuts in his mind the negative part of his idea and ways of mitigating the negative part of his idea. Why am I asking? I like him to explain that. I'm asking because one thing is this: we can't trust the government to be real. We can't trust the government to resolve this conflict. Now, if they are very honest, we know it's not a religious conflict. We know it's not a religious conflict. However, to be honest also, a religion is one religion is a major casualty of this conflict. So I would like Zenith, if you have the time, I'm sorry I'm not anchoring the program. He has said the positive of it. Does he in his mind, does he have any downside? Does he think of any as a downside of his idea cross his mind? And does he have a way of mitigating the downside of it? That's just my question, because you MDotBravo, I don't need to repeat everything you have said. So that's the opinion I shared. But the truth is something needs to be done. This issue will not change except something is done. And if something that is going to be done is going to be done by Nigerian government, it's going to we can't see much impact because this issue can only be solved by Nigeria. Nigerian government can only solve this issue politically and possibly militarily. And if there is a military solution to it, the political solution will impact. We affect the full implementation of the military solution, because religion is going to religious sentiment is going to be added to it. Environmental sentiment is going to be added to it. Political influence, personality influence is going to interfere. So obviously, Nigerian government is not going to be able to genuinely solve this issue. And on the other side, just like MDotBravo said, no, I'm sorry, I'm correct now. Ori Rere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in just like you have rightly said, the downside is a lot. Nigeria is not Somalia. Nigeria is not Kuwait. What's the population of Kuwait? What's the population of the whole that region? America is 350 million, thereabout. Nigeria is over 250 million. So what are we saying? But however, a solution needs to be done. And we can't leave it to the hands of the government, because if I are to be in government also, I will consider religion, I will consider politics, I will consider people who have stake. There are people who have stake in these things. There are people that are doing ethnic cleansing. There are people that are doing resource control in that area. That are probably financiers of the government, or the opposition, or the opposition government. I'm not making any accusation or exacting statements. But those are the political influences of this story. So I know that something needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I know that we can't unilaterally leave it to the government.
Okay.
At the same time, too, just like you have said. Thank you.
Thank you, J-Links. It's been a while since I last heard from you. So, yeah, very good to hear from you again. I hope all is well at your end. Thank you very much for your amazing summation. Yeah, so basically, if we're looking at that, J-Links, your perspective is option two is not viable, because the Americans, they're not coming to save us, and it's not practical for them to do that long term. It won't be sustainable. If the miracle were to happen, it would not be sustainable. That was your option. But are you also of the opinion that option one is not viable either? Because the Nigerian government, the citizens waiting for Nigerian government, do you think it's a viable option? Yes or no? I wasn't sure on your submission in regards to option one.
So option one is not viable. Nigerian government cannot solve this issue.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to confirm it, because I didn't want to put words into your mouth. Thank you very much. So that option one is not viable, and option two is not viable. Zenith is of the opinion that I don't think there's anything. Clearly, Zenith is not favoring option one, but he's with option two. He thinks option two could work. Fair enough. That's the gentleman's opinion. We have to respect it. So King JB5, did you want to come in at this point, sir?
Yeah, I do want to come in.
Okay, thank you.
I think we actually forgetting a lot about history, and that's the problem with black, and I won't say Nigerian only, black, nation or black community. Okay, let's go back to Libya, for example. Libya is mostly like Muslim countries, right?
Yep.
And according to
everyone,
history,
please power tap and share the live. Thank you.
According to history, they're doing well, even better than most European countries when Gaddafi was there, right?
That's a fact. Yeah.
So what happened? Because we know that in Libya, like back then, children went to school, free education, free this, free that. Almost everything is free, right? It was free then. But all of a sudden, there was a rumor about, okay, there's a terrorist, that. And what happened? Some group of people complain about it. It just take one Judas Iscariot to say, oh, this is it. Then the Jesus will be nailed after that. That's exactly what happened. And what happened? US came in, and that country has been in a mess, because people don't know that anything US touch is destruction. There's no two ways about it. Look at recently Venezuela. It's just laughable. When time I see people just author things without even thinking about it, without looking at it, like we just look at the surface. We don't look at what is going on politically in the world. Look at Venezuela. They talk about, oh, you know what, they're carrying I won't say the D work, like no, I mean they're carrying D. I'll put it to D. I don't want your life to be taken down. They're carrying D. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me say medicine.
Yeah,
exactly. So they have to just, what happened? The boats, right? This is a farmer. This is a fisherman. Like they bombed the fisherman. About 3 fisherman boat. They bombed it. And because I'm in the state right now. I've been following things, like critically. They asked the general, in US, like, have you guys find out whether they actually carrying it? He said, oh, no, they do, without even finding out. And in the world, we all know that the people carrying D to America is from Mexico. They are the cartel. Can you tell me? I've been asking people. I said, can you tell me why Mexico is very close to US? They're just close by. Can you tell me why US is not going to Mexico to go attack the cartel? Nobody's going to answer that. We all know why. Because there's a lot of cartel agents in US
Yeah.
that will track you down, and they are they are so scared of the cartel. You might say, "Oh, well, US gonna," but because there's a lot of them here, so everybody's being cautious. Even the seniors also, like, they're being cautious of
Big-
not
and
saying
and,
anything.
and if I could add, King, it's not really about what they're saying it's about, is it? It's not about the D, is it? It's about the O. It's about the oil. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just laughable the way we think. Like, in this century, like 2020, like, why are we even thinking this way? All right, let's leave that one. Now we talk about Black American in America, right? Till date, they're still asking for reparation, right?
Yeah.
Black American asking for reparation in this country for the damages they've done to their people.
Yeah.
Black, I'll use black in quotation, black.
Uh-huh.
They're asking for reparation in this country
And
because we know what happened in Tulsa.
exactly. And it's the same government that they are demanding reparation from based on the damages of the past
Right.
to lives, land, and property and sovereignty. And it's the same people that we are looking at as potential saviors.
So are they going to tell me that some of the Black American, or a lot of the Black Americans, are not Christian? All right, but in Tulsa, they destroy their bands, destroy everything they have because they were so the white were so jealous of their progress. They
Yeah.
destroy it, right, completely leveled it. Because by the time, well, we go, because when Africa, most of our people go over to come over to America, they was like, oh, the Americans are lazy, Black American. No, they're not really, because the white people see when they're progressing, they destroy their things. But we're not thinking about that. We're not seeing that. Okay.
But conversely, on the other hand, even on Black Americans, they look at Africans as lazy as well. They don't look
Well,
at the
because
past,
it's a
that the
program.
fact that we've been colonized. We're in a post-Armageddon state.
It's a program. We all
also,
programmed.
those foreign colonizers are still undermining our economy. They're still undermining our economy, which is why we're like that. But go ahead. I just wanted to add
The black
that
people are all
context to it as
programmed.
well.
All right, the black people are all programmed. The one in the US are programmed. The one in Caribbean are programmed. The one in Africa are all programmed.
Yeah.
We're all programmed. Our minds are being polluted with. One in the US are programmed. The one in Caribbean are programmed. The one in Africa are all. Can someone just move?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that. Please go ahead after me.
It's okay. Yeah, so it's like, when I see all that, I was like, okay, something is wrong somewhere. Now, the recent one was Trump went to South Africa, right, to rescue the white. Is it the only white farmer that's going through hell in South Africa? Why is it only white South African, right? He gave, asylum to come to US. I mean, why are we not thinking as a black people? This is a problem. Like, we are not thinking straight. Like, so he went to South Africa. There's like majority are blacks. They're going to hell. Majority are blacks. The economy of South Africa is being controlled by 20% white. But he could only rescue the white people there. What is going on?
But we know why he was doing that. All of that was just was like a show, isn't it? That was like a cinema.
Yeah, but
Basically,
I mean, it's like we are not marrying things as a black people together and say, okay, wait, there's a pattern with these people.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? The last time I checked, all right, when Israel, right, when the Israel and what's it called? What they call them? Iraq or Iran or whatever they call it. They were having they kind of like a deal. So one of them went back, all right, to break the deal. And at the end of the day, I'm not just going to mention it to just kind of summarize, all right. They went to a sovereign country, Qatar, to throw something on them. But what did the US do? They back off. They're like, oh no, we don't know about it. We don't know about it. But we all know that they know about it. You see the pattern with these things. Like, before you can, this thing is not a joke. The way we're trying to welcome things as like US is not gonna come. Do you think they're just gonna bring all their weapons? Is their weapon free? The weapon is not free. So any of the weapon they drop is money. So they want the money back. And they're not gonna tell you that they want the money back. So if you're coming here and say, oh, they're gonna attack, they're gonna go after the terrorists, they're gonna la 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 la, they're gonna get the money back.
We're
How do
asking
they
to be
get?
recolonized. That's all it is. They don't,
Yeah. Okay.
that's what it is. Option 2 is
Yeah.
asking to be recolonized. It's that simple.
But I will flash our memory. It's just a very quick one. Do you know that? Remember that like Elon Musk was asking
We can
to
even use the Ukraine deal as an added example
Yeah.
in terms of getting money back. Sorry for interrupting you.
So you fine, you fine. Remember, Elon Musk came to Nigeria to take the. It was like having and he's trying to like take more like take over the lithium. If you remember.
Yeah.
And the government said no. You have to come and build the factory here. Otherwise, no. Ever since that time, I've been suspicious about it. Like they've been cooking it. Like they were mad. No, they
Yeah.
were mad. I mean, we all know what's going on. They were mad about that. Now,
Exactly.
China came in, agreed with the government, and start building this thing. They were not happy. People think that like they're not. All right. So why is it that when all of a sudden Dangote have the best refiner in the whole wide world, right? We all know it's the best refiner in the whole wide world. As a matter of fact, they're helping US to refine their oil. People don't know that. They refine their oil and to send back to US. Dangote has been doing that. All right. They get mad. People are like, oh no, US said no. They get mad. You like a lot of people don't know that like US also just depend on China, depend on South Korea on
Yeah.
things. All Nigeria whine about is that why can't we own this thing ourselves? There's like Samsung. We're trying to build I think chip in Michigan. I don't know whether anyone saw the video. They're trying to build a chip. So one white person reported them because they're trying to wrap up like what they call it illegal immigrant. Nobody is illegal in America except the native people of in America.
You mean nobody's legal? You mean?
Well, nobody's legal in America. But if you're coming from Europe, you're not. The indigenous people of America that own the place, they are the one illegal. All this terminology is just wrong, that kind of thing.
I agree with you.
Just
I'm going to need you to wrap it up, though.
Oh yeah. So my conclusion is that we need to stop looking things holistically, like start addressing things locally. States, all those states, you should be having town hall in your state, addressing those security issues, not centralizing. Right, Central needs to do something too, but at the same time, that's why you have to organize a town hall. The media house, you have to question them. Why are you guys not projecting this? Let's start, focusing on the governors because those things are locally. Most of the things that happen is locally. Focus on them. Let the governors call them out. What are you doing locally to tackle those insecurity in your region? That's what I think. That's the basic thing. I mean, that would be the start point anyway. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, King JB. Thank you very much for making your submission. It might be your first time here. I don't recognize your name, but I do appreciate your contribution nevertheless. Baba mo ṣe bá jù lọ kábíyèsí bàbá ṣe dáadáa ni o. Marin ba ni wa yin si lágbára Èdùmàrè. Like bàbá ń kọjá. Okay, I know that a couple other people have joined. Oasis, if you could just hold on a second, let me just go through the third slide because obviously we need to ensure that we are having a balanced conversation. We've had the look at 2 options out of 3 so far. Why don't we have a look at the third option before we allow you to give your submission? Okay, this is option 3. Option 3 is basically the citizens taking control and putting their lives, their property, as well as their sovereignty into their own hands. Okay? Option 3 is where the citizens come in. This is option three. It would let's have a look at the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of this option as well. So option three, immediate deterrence, faster response. So if the citizens decide to rise up for themselves, we know that we outnumber the bandits, like overwhelmingly. We know that, right? So if the citizens were to take charge and start mobilizing, start organizing and protecting their own communities and their own lands, obviously, and by and large, their own states and cities, it would immediately deter the bandits. It also means that if there were to be any incident of bandits coming into a town to come and attack it, the citizens can respond more faster than waiting for the government to send somebody from Abuja to come and defend what's going on your land. We know that approach is not working right now. We know that it has never worked. So this option is looking at the possibility of the situation whereby the citizens actually take control of their own sovereignty. They take control of their own lands. The citizens start forming groups, start organizing and protecting themselves. One of the advantages is that it would immediately deter the bandits. Because now the citizens are organized, they outnumber the bandits, that's 100% sure. They could respond faster in that way because they have the same people who they need to respond are living with them in those lands. Okay, it would build unity and local awareness. Okay, because citizens would have to, in order for this to be feasible, the citizens would need to put their differences aside. The citizens would need to put their differences aside and fight for a common goal, which is what? Protecting our self-sovereignty, protecting our land, and protecting our lives, okay? It would also empower communities to document abuses because we now have people on the ground. When we see people like bandits coming into communities and causing mayhem, we would be able to document it a lot better. We're not waiting for Channel 5 News or NTA to come and document it for us. No, the citizen taking matters into their own hands. Okay, it would encourage more people to document abuses, to document attacks. We would be able to get more evidence of attacks and publicize it. It would by doing so, the citizens become more united, and you can use that to create local awareness. And that as a natural byproduct of that is that the bandits would have to think twice, wouldn't they? If the citizens begin to organize themselves, we're not waiting for anyone to come and save us. We are taking matters into our own hands. We are protecting our own lives and property. We're not waiting for a savior. We're not crying, oh yeah, look what they've done to us. Oh, look what they've done to us. We're not doing that anymore. If we were to face this option, okay, it would mean the citizens become more empowered. The bandits have to think twice. It would serve as a deterrent. And also, any future attacks, we would be able to respond faster as citizens who are now empowered. Citizens who are now Who are now taking matters into their own hands. Okay? So... you can come up as well if you've got opinions you would like to contribute, sir. So yeah, so basically, that's what the option offer in terms of advantages. The disadvantages of that option could be risk of escalation if armed, because we've got examples of countries whereby when the citizens have decided to protect themselves and the citizens have had to use arms to protect themselves. If care is not taken under those circumstances, then those citizens could later be manipulated into becoming rebel groups. Okay? And then rebel groups would then start abusing the same communities that they initially came together to protect. We have seen that happening before. We've seen that happening in places like Somalia. Okay, that could happen if care is not taken. So we could look at that as one of those things that we have to be watchful of. Potential disadvantages of that option. And also, okay, let's look at it. Requires clear laws, codes of conduct, and police liaison. It would mean that the citizens would have to align with the already established security services in those places, okay, in those communities. Because if you go against them, then it becomes a war within a war, and that's not the purpose we're setting out for. We are saying we want to protect our land, okay, from foreign invaders, okay. So in order for this to be, for this option to be workable, then it would require the citizens to at least have close communication, close relationship with the security services that are already on the land. We are just the citizens would be or supplementary to the local police. Okay, to the obviously the police and the security services that are currently there. We know that they are ineffective right now. We know that for a fact. So where they're failing, the citizens can plug the gap, and in doing so, the citizens then have more control. But it would not be against or at the expense of the local security services. It would be as a complementary. It would be complementary to the local services or security services rather. Okay, and obviously another warning which this option comes with is potential misuse by political actors. Like I said earlier, whenever we can see a catalog of examples where the citizens have had to form groups to protect themselves. Initially, that always, everyone's motivated, everyone's going in the same direction. We're fighting for, a common enemy. We are, uniting behind a common goal of protecting our land and people and resources. But we have seen examples whereby if that continues to happen long term, and the government doesn't come in to provide, to serve that role in the long term, what can happen is that potential misuse by political actors, politicians can then begin to come and start using those community vigilantes or whatever you want to call them. They can start weaponizing them. They can start using them as a tool for political gains. We've seen that happening. It's happened a lot in a lot of places in Africa. Okay? So we have to be careful with this option. So if we were to go, if we were to sort of say that, yes, we have to take matters into our own hands because nobody's coming to save us, as citizens, we have to be wary of the pitfalls of that option and ensure that we we have to put laws, codes of conduct into place to ensure that the negative application of this option would not come back to haunt us in the long run. Okay, so for summary, this is the best short-term safety option if it can be lawful. It is a defensive position. And obviously, rather than an attacking, we're not saying we want to go and start, and start returning fire for fire and start becoming aggressive and start becoming the aggressors. No, if the citizens could be educated and basically controlled after if they have strong leadership, which ensures that they don't cross over the line, that they maintain a defensive position, that we're not going after anyone, but if people come into our land, try to come and hurt our people, try to come and take our property, we will do whatever we can to protect ourselves. So if the citizens, when they rise up in this fashion, if they can be coached, controlled to maintain a defensive position, then this kind of solution can be fruitful long term. And also, it's also imperative to ensure that such groups will just be will have links to the states. You cannot afford for these groups to be seen as the enemy of the state, enemy of the government. No, it has to be seen as a necessary extension. Okay? It has to be seen as a necessary extension rather than opposition to the government. Okay? That's the only way that option 3 would work. Okay? but there are some potential disadvantages. But I think those disadvantages can be addressed. And also, Nigerians might turn around and say, you know what? Those long-term potential disadvantages, we'll worry about that when we get there. But at the moment, we have to protect lives and property because we are being pied left, right, and center. Nigerians might want to take the position of, you know what, we'll do, okay, this can be dangerous long term. We'll deal with long term because it's the people who can survive today that, that will be subjected to long term realities, right? We have to live today. So we have to do what we need to do to survive today. We'll worry about the future if we live long enough to take part in it. Okay? Oasis Communications just said, what do you mean by our land? Could you please unmute and go ahead and let us know what you're talking about? Was that aimed at me?
I just saw that I was on Yoruba Ronu. So I just wanted to know, do you mean Yoruba land or Nigeria as a whole?
For the purpose of this presentation, I am talking about Nigeria because when you remember.
Great.
Okay.
Now you see, I just wanted to say certain things.
If I can just land, if I can just add one more thing, and then I'll let you take over the mic.
Okay.
I just wanted to add that. Remember, the motivation behind this particular live is the Donald Trump announcing that he's going to come into Nigeria if the government doesn't do anything about the buying of Christians in Nigeria. He didn't say Yoruba land. He didn't say Igbo land. He didn't say Hausa land. He said in Nigeria. Okay, so that's the background to this particular live. Hence why we are approaching it from a Nigeria perspective. Okay, does that make sense? Is that understood? Okay, now go ahead.
Now, you see, I happen to come from a background where Muslims, Christians, and traditional worshippers, and even people who didn't believe, atheists, coexisted together, right? Okay. As far as I'm concerned, it's not only Christians that are being killed.
Of course not.
Yeah. So you see, and even let's take it to another level. Even if only Christians were being killed, what is the right of an external nation to come to threaten a sovereign nation? I just don't get it. I don't get it because you see the thing is that I acknowledge that Nigeria too has its own contradictions, which are various. But you see, it's not in the reign of another sovereign nation to now come and be threatening. Now, having said that, the thing is that I would say to me, Nigeria is a quasi-democracy. Quasi in the sense that although all those things are on paper, but are they feasible? Right. Now, instead of that, government or democracy should start from the grassroots. But in Nigeria's case, it starts from the top. Some money bags goes spreading money to the people and so on. And maybe because of hunger or whatever, the people too agree. But you see, and it gets to a point that we get a Frankenstein, and that's why we are here. Because for me, I think every life matters. Mm-hmm. Every life matters. It doesn't matter whether, even if you're a criminal or whatever, as long as you have not been tried in a court of law or whatever, you deserve your life. So you see, what I'm saying in effect that if we had like you are trying to say, you had a good structure, okay, like the state governments, the local governments, even the community governments, or let's say communities too, everybody would have been watching the other, right? Now again, even all these resources that okay, Nigeria has so much in foreign exchange, Nigeria has whatever and all this, is it getting down? So you see, that's why I find it instructive that I mean so many people are so happy about another country coming to invade Nigeria or whatever. And by the way, if the US comes to Nigeria now, even if a quarter of Nigerians were to run away to other countries, I guess it would be a terror on the world.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I agree. Well, thank you very much for your submission. Much appreciated, Oasis. Look, like I said earlier, some people are rejoicing that Donald Trump is declaring well, he's basically made a statement suggesting that if Nigerian government don't stop the killing, according to him, of Christians, we Nigerians, we know that it's not just Christians that have been died, but he's from his perspective, he has said if they don't stop the unaliving of Christians, that he's going to come in guns blazing. Okay, some people are rejoicing because they don't understand. Not everyone is educated when it comes to geopolitics. Not everyone is educated when it comes to history. So some people, and we know that Nigeria, majority of the population are Christians and Muslims. We know that. So there is a white savior complex, which is present in people's mind as well. That's the white daddy is going to come and save us and make everything okay. Some people are unfortunately of that mentality, but we hope that our people would be more mature than that. But look, it is what it is. This is why this is the situation. We don't have any choice. We have to work with it under those circumstances, and hopefully we'll be able to make the right decision as citizens. Because I think it's less about the government. It is less about the white daddy Donald Trump. It is more about the citizens. At the end of the day, it is up to the citizens to decide what they want to do. Is a Kuku Mikey. Please come in, sir. Hope you're well.
Much.
I know this you guys platform, and I'm surprised that I was allowed to come in. But I'll make it simple and short. But first of all, these suggestions you are bringing out now, the tactics, and why the tactics do not come out for many decades? Why is it now that Trump said that when stop that is going to intervene, everybody started running from one post to another. You can go and check the military handle. They keep posting now how many people they have unalive. Why is it now? You see, let me say this.
But we know
right?
why, don't we? We know why. We know why. You're asking why, as if you don't know.
But
Okay, you know that these conversations have been going on. These conversations have been going on, but we know that when Big Daddy Donald Trump says something, it gets attention, doesn't it? The world is listening. Everybody's watching now.
Okay, yeah. So why did they have to wait till the Big Daddy, as you said, make that statement? Then everybody started running out everywhere, head loose. Everybody started bringing out different kind of solutions. Oh, solutions can come in a sudden. You see, when I said that,
are you talking? Sorry, can I just clarify something? Apologies. Let me just clarify. Do you mean in terms of our leaders, or are you talking about us ordinary citizens as well?
Ordinary citizens and the leaders.
No, but the citizens have been talking. The citizens haven't stopped talking.
Oh, no. The citizens have not been talking. Not the citizen. Is it the one that where 2020 we're dancing, eating rice? Is that
Okay, that's your
no
perspective.
now?
From my perspective,
Thank you.
even I've done multiple shows on this particular topic. I've made presentations. I've offered solutions on this particular topic, and I've still got those material that I can share. But basically, you can say more people are talking about it now. 100%. If you said why are more people talking about it now, because it is hot topic now, isn't it? It's headline news. Go ahead.
You can even see my dog is even not agreeing into it.
No, it's
But
a fact. It's headline news. I hope you're not taking advice from your dogs, huh?
No, to tell you, he's not even accepting it. You know the reason why I'm saying this, right? This genocide of stuff. Like I went to the Patumika platform. Some Northerners came in, some other people came in, and I was born in the North. I experienced when we are talking about genocide. In the 1995, the 2000, is even the 2000 that even struck that made me to leave the North. Right now, some people have never experienced something. When you get to experience something, you see human beings in a tipper of a sand. Like those tipper that used to carry sand. You see lifeless bodies, right? Not one tipper, not two tippers, not three. And you watch somebody in front of you, they are analyzing it, and you are running away from your life. You know that statement they used to say that when you see death, you start peeing in your trousers. I experienced it, right? It's not something they say someone said. That took away my own father in that process. My father did not escape it. It's so saddening that it's now that Nigerians are waking up, sovereignty, resources. We should be honest to ourselves. These people have been taking these resources a long time to date. It's not about anything resources, because we are talking about resources. We should just forget about it. We know the Western world have been taking it from it. The loan alone that your government are taking alone have given them many clauses that can come into the country and take half of your properties. And that's the fact. That's the fact on it. Now, people are running head scatter now, saying, Donald Trump want to take our resources. Do we forget that Tinubu and the late Buhari and others, Amechi, in 2014 or 2018? 2014, went to the United States, and we have proof of Tinubu tweet when he said to the government of America that they should come and help them, that the unaliving that is going on the Christian community is getting out of hand. Suddenly, some people wrote petition during that period, right, to the US to come and intervene for them. Now, the thing have gone into their own turn. Now, people are clamming in, and people are saying, okay, this is getting out of hand. It's not today that people have been crying that the government should do something. It's because of their negligence that we brought out in what's it called, ESN. Because when the thing was rampaging, when those bandits were going farms to farm, people were taking it as a normal thing in life. People these days now, unaliving people in Nigerian faces is a normal thing. I came out from a platform. A platform said, particularly said, it's not just 500 people. So you are telling me 500 people are not humans, right? They are deserve to find just like that. To tell you how gullible most of the Nigerians are, it's not that everybody start bringing tactics or start giving us what happened in Congo, what happened when they gave them long opportunities. When we are watching military of Nigerians escorting bandits, we are seeing bandits sitting down round table to have discussion with weapons. The bandits have more dangerous weapons than even the military. The militaries are using Second World War ammunitions. Why the bandits are using latest one? And most of them, the military are crying.
Let me stop you there. You made some very, very good points. A lot of your points I do agree with. to be fair. So thank you very much for coming up and speaking. But however, you've just made the point that is what it requires a closer observation. You've just said bandits in Nigeria have more advanced weapon than our own army, right? So what does that tell us? Where are they getting it from? It means they're not getting it from the country, right? It means they're getting it from external places, right? So what does that tell us? And do you remember when just it was only a few months, maybe about when Trump just came into his second term, his second administration? Do you remember what came out? What was revealed? When Trump asked for the audit of US aid, what happened? What was revealed? It was revealed that the US aid is actually funding terrorism in a lot of places, including Nigeria. It was revealed that the US Army, this was something that was said, in the US, in their press, in their government, came after the audit, and he exposed USAID that for funding terrorism, like terrorists like Boko Haram and was it ISWAP or whatever they're called. So now remember.
Okay, can I ask you a question, my brother?
If I can just finish, just hold on. And so now we are saying the same people that are funding Fulani. So basically, we are asking the lions to come and protect the chickens. So we are saying, the same people who exposed themselves. Remember, when Trump came into the administration, he came with a lot of anger. He came with the purpose of basically exposing the administration which preceded him. He came to expose the Obamas and the Bidens for what they were doing. And one of the areas where he felt that they were acting contrary to their foreign policy was the US aid. And he exposed the fact that they were actually, in fact, what they call aid is they're not paying it to the government, that they are basically redirecting it to terrorism, to terrorists. And they called it out. So we are now saying the same country who exposed themselves for funding terrorism in Nigeria, we are now saying those are the same people that we are expecting to come and be our savior. You see, that does not really make any sense, does it?
Okay, then I can throw the same reverse stuff.
Go ahead.
Now you said, oh, Trump brought out this, brought out. Before Trump came into the second time.
No.
No, I understand what you're saying.
No. Am I saying it, or is it a matter of fact, though? Am I just saying it?
It is the fact. No, I'm just quoting. Is the fact. We saw it right now.
Okay,
this
go
is
ahead.
what I'm trying to say now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before Trump came into power in his first time, he had a discussion with Buhari, yes or no? Yes. And he looked into him directly and he said, why are they unaliving Christians? Buhari was not able to say anything, or he said, okay, we'll work towards it, before Trump now signed an agreement to give them weapons. Now, we also have intelligence that he was in public space when Jonathan even reviewed the same thing. When the military came into Nigeria during the Chibok girls, wanted to work and save those girls, when they went to the zone, and when they share intelligence with the Nigerian military, what they want to do, when they went to that zone, what did they see? Bandits wearing face masks. That what they wanted to use to make them to sleep and do whatever they want to do and save those girls. But when they got there, the bandits are already started wearing nose masks. So who went and tell those bandits they were coming? It's not the same intelligent people that shared this thing before the US now pulled out and said they cannot be working with the Nigerian army, because people, when they share intelligence before they get there, something else is different. Now, in that submission you gave, before Buhari came into power, before Buhari was emerging as a Nigerian president, we all know that Buhari said he will make Jonathan government unbearable for him. And he said also, we know how they imported Boko Haram into the country. We have clips on that. There's no lie on that. They are the one that imported it. And we all know when Obama had a meeting with Jonathan, when Jonathan disagreed on that stupid whatever they wanted to have the whatever into Nigeria, and our president rejected it, is when Obama switched and started working with who? What was it called? Buhari. And who was campaigning for Buhari? Tinubu. So all of them in that cycle knew that these people were terrorists. They are the one that imported them because of what? Election. We all have evidence on that. It's not a new thing. Now, when these people came in after the election or whatever they did, they decide not to go. You feed a snake in a certain place, the snake turns to an anaconda. You are expecting the anaconda to leave. You start swallowing whatever it sees. Now, we all know that the Nigerian government, that we even have a document where even the UAE were listing, they have the names of the people in Nigerian top government who are sponsoring terrorism. We all saw it. Nobody acted. Everybody acted blindly. No Nigerians wake up and said, we want to see those names.
So
Everybody
that's
acted
not
like
true.
it's the norms.
Hey,
Now,
let me correct that 1 second.
hold on, my brother. Now, that's true.
Nigerians were asking for it was the government that didn't show interest. The normal Nigerian people were saying, yes, we want to
So
have
why
that.
did they not put effort? But my brother, my question is that you
go
just
ahead.
said something.
You need to wrap up.
Now, why did you not put that why they did not put the effort they are putting now? That Trump just said just one word. Not that he said he's coming now. He said, go and put your house in order. If you do not, you will not give me a choice to come in to save life. If people are saying, oh, because of years we come, Trump will come, and everywhere we scatter mineral resources.
Yeah, because
What
we see
mineral
what
resources have we gained as
they've done in
citizens of
Libya. We
Nigeria?
see what they've done in Somalia. I think the people look. You've made some interesting points today, and I commend you for
Okay,
that.
what is the solution, my brother? Now I want to ask you a question. Now,
Okay.
people keep
Go ahead
saying
and
that
wrap
Trump
up.
should not come. Hold on, now, my brother. Now, hold on, please. We are having conversation, right? Now, you people say Trump should not come to come and support. Now, when the people like us during that period were bringing solutions, we were saying, okay, is even your top military chief said a statement that every Nigerian should harm themselves. They should start protecting themselves. That shows you is beyond their own power. If a top military can able to come in national TV to tell you, bros, go and learn how to combat, protect
Okay.
yourself, shows you that this is beyond what you are thinking.
Okay,
Because they are in
I'm
the
gonna need you
field,
to wrap
they
up.
are
Yeah.
seeing it.
So basically, thank you very much for your submission. As a Kuku Mikey. You made some very interesting points.
Hello?
I'll give you that, and it's your opinion.
Hello?
You've made some very interesting points, and I really do appreciate you coming up. And it's your opinion. Everyone has the right to their opinion, but basically, you are also coming from a perspective of it seems like you're gloating, like you've got a gripe. You're basically saying, "Oh, why are they doing? Why are they doing something now?" When we were saying, when you say you. Okay, wait. You were doing this us and them thing, and I'm not even sure who's in your us and who's in your you people. I'm not sure when you were saying that. I'm not quite
If you
sure.
want to, my brother, if you want us to have the discussion, me, I'm an open mind person that we can see the evidence is
I
out
thought we
there.
were having a discussion
See, you
already.
want see, okay,
One,
that's
one
what I'm
second.
saying. You
We
know,
have to
like
move on
what
because
one of our
other people
brothers
want to
said.
come up. Other
May I
people want to
just
come up. I
Okay,
just want you to
let me
clarify.
allow others to talk.
No,
may I
just a second. Just before you
may I
go, I just want to
talk?
clarify one thing. Because
Okay.
when I'm responding, I want to make sure that you are well represented. Okay. So when you say us, and so who's us? Who's in your camp? Well, could you? Who's on your side?
I did
Because
not say you. I did not
you
say
said
you
you
guys.
people. You
You
said
supposed to.
you said
Yeah,
we, and then you said you people.
us. When I mean us, oh yeah, hold on. When I mean us, right
Mhm.
now, I'm talking about those who knows the truth, who came out and be speaking about this. And when we wanted to take the bull by the horn and said, okay, since Nigerian government cannot protect us, we should do it in our own way.
So
Some
what
of
was
the
your own way?
Nigerians
What was your
said,
solution back then?
our solution was to attack back. Our
Oh,
solution
okay.
was to, okay, if you cannot protect us, we attack when we see the elders, we're going to attack them. That's number one. We have another solution that, okay, fine, if you are enjoying the entity of people every day get unalived back and front, that we don't want to be in that entity.
Okay,
So
then.
we
Thank you very
brought
much
out a
for.
lot of solutions. Many people call us name that we want to divide the nation and all that. So
Okay,
that's what
thank you
I'm
very
saying.
much for clarifying that. I just wanted you to clarify that. Thank you so much. Noble Watch, thanks for the gift. Much appreciated.
May
So,
I drop a comment?
yeah, just 1 second. I just wanted to say something. So basically, Eze, you're saying basically from your perspective, you have always supported option three, which is basically the citizens organizing and defending themselves. That's that seems to be where you're heading. Although you're coming with a bit of sour gripe and saying that, oh, this is what you and your crew, this is what you've been saying all along. Yeah, is that correct? So you are on the option three, or are you saying?
That is
Or are
correct.
you saying you are no longer
Yes.
on the option three because you're angry because when you were saying it's option three, you didn't get the support. So now you're saying, screw Nigeria, let America come in and take over. Then, so which one are you saying there? Are you still saying you still supporting option three, or are you saying because you're angry that people didn't support you when you was championing option three, you're saying, you know what, forget about it. We don't even want law and order anymore. Let us get recolonized. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm actually saying, my brother.
Okay, that
I'm not
sounds like
missing from it. Yeah.
okay. I get it. Again, I understand your perspective. Well, I understand the reasons you've stated, but it sounds like an emotional reaction rather than something which is going to bring real solutions. Okay, you still got some sour gripes. Anyway, look, and you're entitled to it. But at least now we understand your position. We can move forward on that basis. Thank you very much for coming up, and I do
All right.
appreciate your
Thank you, my
submission as
brother.
well.
May I drop
Okay.
a
All right.
comment?
Thank you.
Thank you. Oasis, you want us to come back in? Please do that very quickly before we step forward.
Okay. Now, we Nigerians, especially the common people, are not having quite a nice time now. Now, even if Trump comes in or America invades Nigeria, will the lives of the poor man be better?
As
I have a question.
well, we we may not be able to answer that objectively looking forward, but when we look backwards, the last time we were colonized, was it beneficial to the ordinary man?
Oh, you see?
The answer would be no. The answer would be
You
no,
see?
right?
No. You seem to get where I'm going to, because
Okay.
most of this ruling class, many of them have dual passports. They'll just jump out.
Yeah.
So the life of the common man will still remain even poorer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I get that was a very good point, and I understand your perspective. But the best way down there's a wise man once said the best way to determine the future is to look at the past. So if we look at the past in terms of when we were previously colonized and enslaved, we know that was not that was not
It was not the best.
it was not the best situation for us. Okay, so now we've considered three options. I think we have different people who are supporting, different options. But I think let's move forward at this stage. Obviously, we're going to give people to make opportunities to make additional submissions. But I think we need to, for the benefit of the listeners, we kind of have to step forward. Okay. So this is now going into other realistic options. State-backed community policing, e.g., the likes of Amotekun, civilian JTF, is for the state to support them, because obviously those I think we've got them in the east as well, that are basically like you could say they are citizens, so security agencies who at the moment they've not been supported by the federal government. We know that they have, they've been, some of them have operated in parts, but they have not really been supported that much. So we are saying if those groups like the Amotekun could be supported and be repurposed to serve as, the citizens, security groups, to look after the land and, look after those areas in which they occupy, that obviously that will then, and obviously if they can be armed, they have to be given the right tools for the job as well. Because they cannot be using those guns that they used to hunt birds on the farm. Those cock and blow type of gun. When the marauders, the bandits are using AK-47, so that's not a fair fight. So we have to give them the right weapons, the right tools, modern tools, so that they can do their job effectively. So that's another option. And another option could be land and livestock reforms. Because at the moment, we know that a lot of the drama, a lot of the banditry is about land. It's not about Nigerians. People on the ground, we know that it's not about religion. But people on the outside, they think it's about religion. Okay, but we know that it's about land and resources. Okay, because when those bandits come in, they're not discriminating. They say they've got a funny habit of targeting lands where they have natural resources like oil, gold, diamond, cobalt, and other minerals that they're extracting. Okay, they've got a funny way of targeting those places, and when they come in, they don't discriminate. They attack people, indiscriminately. We know that, but the noise on the outside is that it's Christian, it's Christian. But us Nigerians, people on the inside, they know it's not just about Christians. Okay, so what does that call for then? It means that we need to fight for land reforms. We can address it in that way as well. Okay, so we force the bandits to transition into ranching. We know that the people have been proposing this for a very long time, but they won't do that because they use their cows and all those things as an excuse to encroach over sovereign lands. We know that. Okay. And obviously compensation schemes, when people lose land and livelihood, that they should be compensated. But this will come later, I think. It's not an immediate. This in itself doesn't work. It can only work in addition to one of the other solutions that we've already explored. Okay? Local peace pacts with elders, farmers, herders, and traditional rulers. Look, even whichever option that we decide to adopt to protect our land and lives and properties, it would have to be done in collaboration with with the elders, with the farmers, with the landowners. It would have to be done. It would have to be a community response. It cannot be done without the community. So the community, the landowners, the farmers, the cattle rearers, they're all the property owners, the youth, the students, and the professionals will have to come together to form a union in order for this to be whatever solution we decide to implement. In order for it to be successful, we would have to work together. Okay, rule of law search, special prosecutions, and mobile courts. This is more of a reactionary measure, so that the next time bandits come into a town, the rule of law hopefully would be stronger to apprehend them, to make arrests where they should be arrested, and ensure that they are prosecuted for their crimes. At the moment, we see that that's not happening. Police, they don't come when they do respond, they're slow. And even in their slowness, if they so happen to catch one or two bandits, what happens after that? They get released, they get rehabilitated under the pretext of, again, which is absolutely ludicrous, right? So yeah, the rule of law will have to be stronger. At the moment, it appears that it's almost as if Fulani, they have immunity under Nigerian law. That's the way it seems at the moment. Clearly, if we're going to have long-term peace, that can no longer be the case. The rule of law will have to be stronger, okay? And the offenders will need to be prosecuted. Okay, and then the last one is early warning and protection technology. So is to implement technology which will allow the local citizens to be able to alert the security services whenever they see strange people encroaching their land. We'll have to set up networks so that people can be alerted, and things of that nature. So that's just the communication aspect of it. And regardless of which option we implement, we would still have to look at, okay, how can we set up a communication network so that if somebody sees something looking funny, they can send a message to a WhatsApp group or call a number, and then there's then the broadcast goes out to say, we see bandits encroaching this particular area. This is where they were seen. They are in this location, so that a reaction can be a response unit can then be triggered. That's not happening at the moment, right? We see it after people have already been pied. So yeah, we would have to work on communication and both locally as well as at the national level, but it has to happen on the ground. It has to happen locally first. So there are other, you could say, micro options that we may explore, but the bigger ones are the ones we've already looked at. Okay, the bigger ones are the ones we've already looked at. Continue to wait for government to wake up one day. In hope that they wake up one day and do something about the ongoing insecurity. We wait for the white daddy, the big daddy Trump, to come and save us. The white savior complex that our people are still currently being plagued by. Option 3 is the citizens organize themselves to defend their own land and property. So yeah. So those are the real options. We've looked at the pros and cons of those options. We've looked at the advantages and disadvantages. Some of the options have already been discarded. We know that option 1 is not going to work because if Nigerian government could fix this, they would have fixed it. Okay? If they could fix it, they would have. I think TikTok is dropping people. Please, everyone, please power tap. Don't worry, we're coming into the conclusion shortly, okay? We're coming into the conclusion. I said this one is not going to be a long one. We're going to keep it short and sharp. But power tap. TikTok is dropping people. Please, everyone, please power tap. Okay? So, and what we can also learn from other countries, right? Because what Nigeria is currently experiencing, as difficult, as punishing, as painful as it is, it's happened, and it's happening in other places as well. So can we look at those other places and look at, well, okay, what have they done? What are the things which has worked for them? What are the things which hasn't worked? And what can we learn? What can we gain from that? What learnings can we apply to our own situation in our own country? Okay, so lessons from other countries. If we look at the northern part of Ghana, they've had Fulani problems as well, and Fulani insurgencies as well. They formed committees and compensation tariffs, which has led to fewer clashes. If we look at places like like Kenya, for instance, they set up community conservancies and prosecutions, which led to a quick and an accelerated judicial process whenever there is an issue of banditry. So the law comes down very quickly and very fast, and people are arrested, people are prosecuted, people are sent to jail. That has served as a deterrent to the bandits, and it's reduced what? It has reduced violence as a result of it. It's in Nigeria where the bandits, they see that the government is not doing anything about it. They feel encouraged to do what they're doing. Okay? And then in northeastern parts of Nigeria, civilian JTF worked when trained and monitored, but that didn't last very long, did it? If we look at negative examples in Colombia and Mexico, the militias that were set up initially to protect the citizens actually became terrorists themselves. So you could argue Colombia and Mexico are basically the examples of what could happen if care is not taken with option 3. If option 3 is not closely managed, by making sure that the clear goals are set and clear rules are set to govern option 3 in terms of the citizens being able to rise up, organize, and protect themselves. If care is not taken, it can be politicized. Other people can come and use that, that's that force, and turn them into militia and start using them as terrorist groups on the same citizens that they are meant to be protecting. So that has happened in other places. So we can definitely learn from the experiences of other countries that has dealt with the same challenges that we are faced with today. Okay, so basically, in conclusion, this only works when we have a lawful, supervised community security network. So when we have a community that's organized, standing up for themselves, protecting themselves, but obviously we're under a common law and under close supervision, so that they don't go off the rails, so that they don't become rogue, so that they themselves don't evolve to become terrorists against the same community that they were set up to protect. Under close supervision. So we've seen that before. Okay, so that's the lesson we can learn from other countries. Okay, but the best option so far is still the ones whereby the citizens take control of their own fate. The citizens have to organize and take control of their own fate. So which option ensures safety and sovereignty? In the short term, safety, obviously that's the number one thing we want to say. We want to be safe today, because only those who are safe today will be there tomorrow to argue about which option is working and which option is not working. So the most immediate action is to is safety, protect lives and property. Okay, so in the short term, the most viable option for Nigerian citizens is to organize lawful citizen defense, which is option 3, integrated with police, because you don't want them to be perceived as the enemy of the state, because that's only going to lead to more madness. Okay, so option 3 is our best option if we consider these options that we've already looked at. Okay, option 3 offers immediate safety in the short term, but also in the long term. Okay, but sovereignty in the long term, rule of law will have to be put in place. Criminals will have to be prosecuted, and land reforms will have to ensure that people cannot come from anywhere and take over other people's lands without consequence, without any punishment on the law, without any repercussions. So we have to ensure that this is the only way we're going to do it. In the short term, yes, the community have to organize themselves. They have to protect themselves. They have to create community safety, security agencies, which are in the community, working with the community in alignment or in cooperation with the police within those communities. That's the short-term solution. That's the quickest thing we can do. And it's possible because we're not waiting for somebody to come and do it for us. We can do that today. We can begin to organize today. Nothing is stopping us from beginning to organize today. So this is in the community, in the hands of the community. That's definitely feasible, but obviously in collaboration with the police, not against the police, but in cooperation with the police. That's very important. And obviously, to maintain sovereignty in the long term, there will have to be a rule of law, prosecuting offenders and making sure that the landowners are protected under law, through which could be achieved through land reforms. Okay, it is also the least costly model, because community defense plus state accountability plus land reforms equals what? Peace paths. It is the cheapest, it is the quickest, and it is the most practical option as well. Okay, so we have to consider that. So this is the easiest thing to do out of all the options we've looked at. The most practical one, the most practical option, the easiest option to implement, the cheapest one to implement as well. Okay, which secures land and property as well as protects the sovereignty of the people of our country. This is the option. Okay. Let's go ahead. And obviously, so the remaining slides basically goes into, okay, if we decided that option 3 is the most viable option, how can we actually go about implementing that option? So these remaining slides basically talk about it. Okay, it basically talks about it. The couple of slides just basically gives a high level approach in terms of if we were to determine as citizens that, okay, this is the option that we want to do to protect our lives and property, how do we go about it? How do we start? Where do we start from? So that I've got some high level you could say plan, a high level strategy for doing that. But in summary though, looking at the final slide, in summary, so final summary and call to action. Doing nothing is only going to pose more danger and continue the buy-ins. Doing nothing poses more danger, and that's the only thing which ensures that the buy-in will continue if we do nothing. Okay? So doing nothing has not been beneficial so far. It has not worked. It has not protected anybody. If anything, it is pushing us further and further down the pits. Okay? So doing nothing doesn't work. We cannot afford to do nothing. Waiting for foreign armies equals unrealistic, and you lose your sovereignty when you do that, like I've explained. Because automatically we are asking for what? We are asking to be recolonized. And I never thought I would see the day where Nigerians are asking to be recolonized. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand the consequences of what they're asking for. People have not really examined the consequences of Donald Trump and United States Army coming into our country. They don't understand that means recolonization. A lot of people don't understand that. Okay, so we have to educate our people to help them to understand that that is definitely not, that's a very, very terrible idea. Okay, and lawful citizen organization equals the best path to protection and unity. So when citizens are organizing with the purpose of defending their lives, property, and land, from a defensive perspective, not becoming aggressors and then committing crimes themselves. But when citizens are saying, this is our manifesto, we are going to protect ourselves and our land, we're going to organize in groups, we're going to work with the local police and make sure that we maintain our protection over our families, our land, and obviously our property, but from a defensive position. Citizens fail. That approach only fails when citizens become aggressors, or when they become powerful and they start abusing their power. That's when it fails. And we've seen some examples of that in places like Mexico and Colombia. But if citizens rise up under clear directive, under clear governance of rule of law, maintaining a defensive position, it can work. And that's the most practical way to protect ourselves. And so paired with government accountability, prosecutions, and land reform, this ensures safety, sovereignty, and stability. Okay? So if anyone had any doubt about, what should we do? Kí ni ká ṣe? Àwọn Fúlàní tó máa ń pa àwọn èèyàn káàkiri yìí, àwọn tó ń ṣe báyìí, kí ni ká ṣe? Ṣé ká dúró kí àwọn government máa bọ̀ ni? Should we wait for the government to come and save us? Should we wait for the Big Daddy Trump, the white savior, to come and save us? We've looked at those options. Those are not solutions. Okay, those solutions are they're terrible suggestions even. So we know that the only answer is for citizens to take matters into our own hands and to organize ourselves for the purpose of protecting our land, which we have a God-given right to do. Okay, before countries, there were families. Before there was ever any country, there were families, there were societies, there were community. Okay, and the first rule of nature is what? It's self-preservation. So every human being has a right, or God-given right, to preserve their lives and property. So citizens will need to organize. The bandits didn't wait for the government to come and organize them. Let's remember that the bandits that are coming in and doing all that madness on buying people, stealing land and property, they didn't wait for the government's permission to do it. So the citizens will be foolish to be waiting for the government's permission. No, the citizens have to exercise their right. The citizens have to rise up and say, we are going to protect ourselves with whatever means we can protect ourselves with. Okay? If the government cannot handle the bandits. They clearly cannot handle if the citizens rise up and they mobilize, the government cannot do anything. The government have to work with them. Okay? The government have to work with them. But the citizens have a right to protect themselves, especially in the face of what's been going on, which is basically lawlessness. Okay? And impunity is what's been going on. So the citizens have to rise up. They have to organize. At the end of the day, nobody's is coming to save us. And for me, that's actually good news. If I'm honest with you, if someone told me that okay, your survival and your prosperity is in your own hands, that's the best scenario that a rational citizen could ever wish for. So it's in the middle of the pain, as painful as the current situation is, I think this is good news that it's only us that can save us. We should look at that as a good news. We should look at that as an opportunity so that we can then go to work. We can go to work and protect ourselves. Even there've been people in the government even coming out and telling the citizens to protect themselves. The head of what's that group? That group, the police group, what they called, I can't remember, it just escaped me. But yeah, Baba mi omini kini group àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó máa lọ mú àwọn yahoo boys, yeah. What's that police force? What are they called? Baba mi omi ṣe wà ń bẹ̀. Okay, hold on, so yeah, basically that one of the head of. So what's the name of the? Kí lorúkọ àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó máa lọ mú àwọn yahoo boys yẹn? What's the name of
the SAS.
No.
DSS.
Huh? DSS. Okay.
SAS.
DSS, I think it's DSS. So yeah.
Yes, SAS or DSS.
DSS, their leader already told people to go and protect themselves. So even government, people in the government have started coming out and telling the citizens, you have to protect yourselves. That they're telling us, don't wait for the federal government to come and save you. So the writing is on the wall. It's the citizens who have to organize. It's the citizens who have to stand up. But obviously, we have to be careful in the way of doing that, making sure that we are not positioning the citizens against the government. No, it should be the citizens protecting their lives with the willingness to work with the local police, to align with the police in cooperation with the police. Okay, so for me, that's the solution. Well, that's the best solution. That's the way forward. That's the only solution which guarantees we're not only saving ourselves, but we are also protecting our sovereignty. Okay, because if a foreign government comes in, automatically, that's the first thing you lose is your sovereignty. Okay, that's even if we have it. Some people can argue today that Nigeria is not a sovereign country, because we owe so much debt that's been used to govern us, to dictate our policies. Then how can we claim to be sovereign? But at least on paper, we appear to be. So we don't want it to be worse than it currently is. Anyway, like I said, I didn't want this live to take too long. It was just, again, there's a lot of noise right now about the situation, what's going on. There was a lot of noise about how Donald Trump warning the Nigerian military, Nigeria of military invasion if the government don't do anything to stop the buying of Christians. Okay, and it's that was what motivated me to say, and I'm hearing people celebrating that. I'm hearing and I'm seeing people saying, oh yeah, Donald Trump should send the army, blah blah blah, as if that was going to be a good thing. So this is what motivated me to say, okay, why don't we come in and have a look? Okay, is that a good thing? If that happened, what are the pros and cons? Can we have a look? Are there any other options? Okay, so clearly option 3 is the best way forward. But obviously the decision, I'm only MDotBravo. The decision is not mine. It's just about looking at the various practical options and saying, okay, can we weigh up the advantages and disadvantages? But based on what we've been discussing, option 3 looks like the most sensible way forward. Okay. And I hope that when we are engaging in these conversations within our communities, within our little friend, groups of family and friends, hopefully we are going to be saying, this is what we should be doing. This is the option we should all be championing and supporting. We have to wake up. We have to stop being naive. This is, this option is definitely not going to be in our best interest. We know that this option it's a non-starter because the government is not doing anything. They've had ample opportunities to do something. They're not doing anything. So it leaves us with this option. Okay. So thanks everyone who has participated in this. Like I said, I didn't want this live to be too long. Baba mi omi, it's okay, ba mi o. If anyone else would like to come and make some contributions, then please feel free to come up. If anyone else has anything to add or remove, send a request. Babambi Omini, have you got anything you want to add to this? If not, we can wrap up. Go on.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay. All right, sir. Nǹkan tí màá kàn sọ nípa àwọn nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí ni pé kí everybody ká kàn lọ máa múra nílẹ̀ for anything that is coming, because we don't need to lose guard now. We all know what is going on and we all know what is coming, so we need to be ready for everything. Àtọmọ kékeré àti àgbàlagbà wa kẹ́yìnbó ká lọ gbáradì pé torí a wà ní ojú ogun for now. Iye pé ojú ogun ń bọ̀, ogun ti dé. So we need to be ready for anything that is coming. Nǹkan tí màá kàn sọ lélẹ̀, tí màá kàn tún fi kún, ó ní pé
Okay, everyone, please power tap. I don't know if that's TikTok. Sheshiwa Peluwa. I think it might be his network. Okay, I think boy,
that is it. Okay. Network mi ló worst. Network bad. Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So bí tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ dé ni pé tí a kàn ní láti ready fún anything tó ń bọ̀, because ká ti gbà pé ojú ogun la wà ń sìn, ogun ti dé. So a gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé ẹnìkan báyìí ni kó wá jà fún wa mọ́. Ọdún náà àti gentle àti ń wò tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ àti the way we have been reacting before. We need to change it now. Our mentality needs to change now. Before we were dependent, but now we are independent now. Ká máa ronú pé no, àwọn ta ní kó wá ṣọ́ wa gangan, àwọn gangan ló ń tà wá fún àwọn tó ń pa wá sìn. Tá bá ní ká wo àwọn security wa, àwọn gangan ló wà ní ìdí kan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa Nàìjíríà. Tó bá rí èèyàn mi tó gbé ìbọn dání, wọ́n máa sọ pé o ní right àti gbé ìbọn, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn Fúlàní yìí tẹ́ bá rí wọn ní ìgboro AK-47 wà nù wọn. Gbogbo àwọn àdá ọ̀bẹ gbogbo dágà tán kó káàkiri yẹn, wọ́n sọ fún wa pé is the part of their dressing. Ìbọn ó wà lára kan tán máa ń wọ̀, ó wà lára àti ẹ̀ tó máa ń tán, is part of their dressing. But àwa free láti gbé because wọ́n ní pé ká má bàa para wa, but àwọn dẹ̀ ń gbé kiri. So we need to change this thing. Tàbá kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ kínní yìí, ká kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn security Nigeria, from Nigeria, àwọn Nigeria police, ó yẹ ká kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọ̀dọ̀ wọn. Àwọn tó wà lọ́dọ̀ wa, because tẹ́ bá ní ká bá wo security Nigeria sìn, security yẹn favour àwọn kan, kò favour àwọn kan. Not northern side of Nigeria now. Israel ní agbára ju fún Nigeria police force lọ. But side ọ̀dọ̀ wa ń bí báyìí, Nigeria police force ni o. Ní ọ̀dọ̀ wọn lọ ní north ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ lè gbọ́ Nigeria, mi ìṣọ́ọ̀kù wọn wọ aṣọ police. Mi ìṣọ́ọ̀kù wọn, but Eastbound ni gbogbo nǹkan tó ń lò ń bẹ̀. Even tí court tó bá fẹ́ gbéyàn lọ sí court, Hisban náà máa pè. Who is Hisban? Àwọn wo ni Hisban? Àwọn gangan ni police kan, that is Islamic police lọ́dọ̀ wọn lọ. Òun gangan ni. Yes, àwọn Sharia police àwọn gangan náà ń lò ní northern side lọ́rùn yẹn. But àwa Nigeria police ló wá ń àwọn Nigeria police wọ́n dì wá lọ́wọ́ bí ìgbà tán fún wọ́n dì nǹkan lọ́wọ́ mú fún nǹkan kó láti wá máa nà ni. So we need to change this orientation. We need to change our people to know that Nigeria police is nothing now. They are not doing anything for us. They are just wọ́n kàn dí ọwọ́ wa mú fún àwọn kinní láti máa pa wá ni. Ẹ wo kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Kwara State tí àwọn DSS lọ sí community tán nípa àwọn fẹ́ lọ gba ìbọn lọ́wọ́ àwọn yẹn pé wọ́n fẹ́ lọ bá wọn repair orú ẹ̀ òun wá pa àwọn yẹn tán wá pa gbogbo ìlú yẹn. That is what they are doing. Ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa ń sìn yìí yẹn máa rọ́lọ́pàá lójú ọ̀nà from junction to junction but kán máa jíyàn gbé kò reduce. Ẹ máa wo gbogbo security lọ́dọ̀ wa sójà ẹ̀rí sójà ní checking point by checking point but ibi sójà máa wà bíbá yìí checking point sójà wà bíbá yìí wọ́n máa kidnap another side lọ́run kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. So kí gbogbo wa kí citizen ọ̀hún jẹ́ ẹjẹ́ kí sọ pé Yorùbá ká jókòó ká mọ bá ṣe máa fọ́ọ̀mù títí wa bá ṣe mọ̀ bá ṣe máa tá bá fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ everything ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn police ẹni ká ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ká kọ́kọ́ gbàgbára lọ́wọ́ wọn ìgbẹ́mọ̀ tó mọ̀ pé a lè secure territory wa.
Nílé gbàgbára lọ́wọ́.
Àwa la ní àdúgbò wa àwa ní ká secure territory wa. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe wọn tó má ti halẹ̀ mọ́ tá bá ti jókòó sínú ilé ẹ̀kan wọn máa halẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ nígbà tó máa halẹ̀ mọ́ alẹ́ ẹ̀kan tá bá halẹ̀ mọ́ wọn máa lọ sit down.
Exactly.
Wọ́n máa lọ jókòó. Wọ́n ká máa yí káwa náà tó má ti bú ẹ mọ̀. Tó má ti halẹ̀ mọ́ alẹ́ ẹ̀kan. Are you hearing me, sir?
I can hear you perfectly.
Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ mi?
Mo ń gbọ́ yín àgbọ́yé bá mi.
Hello, sir.
Mo ń gbọ́ yín bá mi àgbọ́yé.
Hello.
Èmi ń gbọ́ yín sẹ́. Mo ń gbọ́ yín bọ̀ delay wà lọ́dọ̀ yín díẹ̀.
Okay, sir. So tí wọ́n bá ní tàbá ní ká form partnership. All right, sir. Okay. Tó bá ní ká form partnership pẹ̀lú Nigeria police àwọn gangan ní informant àwọn kinní yìí because Nigeria police is sharing mo lè sọ gbàgbà pé Nigeria police ń gbà lára kan tó ń ṣe.
Àwa la máa mọ bá ṣe máa dé wọ́n. Àwa la máa mọ bá ṣe máa dé wọ́n.
Nínú station gan ẹ lè sọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní níbẹ̀ wọ́n máa bẹ̀rù ni because àwọn gan bẹ̀rù pé kán máa kàn. So we need to láti gún ká gba ìjọba lọ́wọ́ ọlọ́pàá tó máa halẹ̀ mọ́ alẹ́ kan ká halẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀mejì àwọn kan máa sá sẹ́yìn ṣe bí àwọn ni wọ́n lè rí nǹkan ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn Boko Haram tó ń lè ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn tó jíyàn gbé pẹ̀lú àwọn bandits yìí. So we need to ẹ̀kọ́ tí mo kàn lè sọ ní pé àwa fúnra ní ká fọ́ọ̀mù ara wa tí youth bá jáde síta pé no àgbàmọ́ nìyẹn nǹkan tó wá dẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ bọ̀ nǹkan tó kàn ń ṣe wá ní pé ìwọ tó lówó tó sọ pé ò fẹ́ kú kí ló máa pa ebi ló máa pa ẹ́ sílẹ̀ náà.
Exactly.
O ló jẹ́ lé o ní kankan lé o sọ pé ò fẹ́ kú òkè kí ló máa pa ẹ́ ikú náà lórí ebi ló máa pa olówó ẹ̀ sílẹ̀. So ìwọ tó bá wẹ̀ pé ò ní nǹkankan ò ní àwọn ló yẹ kó máa bẹ̀rù wa àwọn tó ti ní owó yẹn àwọn commissioner àwọn kìíní yẹn ló yẹ kó máa bẹ̀rù because àwọn ló ní nǹkankan sílẹ̀ lẹ̀. But mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa lọ mọ̀ yín pé gbogbo wọn ló ní dual citizen náà ni wọ́n ní passport anything bá ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n á gbéra wọn lọ nìyẹn. Kò sí gómìnà wa tí ò ní dual citizen tí ò ní passport kò sí ọba tó wà lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí ò ní passport tó yẹ kó tí kankan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ó sá lọ nìyẹn kò sétò kan. So àwa tá mọ̀ yẹn pé kò síbi tá à ń lọ àwa ni ká dìde àwa ni ká gbéra wa ká mọ̀ nǹkan tá fẹ́ ṣe because we have nowhere to go. Ibi báyà nílé wa ibi báyà bí wa sí àwa ni ká mọ̀ báyẹn máa dìde tó bá kí fún wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan káwa kí fún wọn lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́rin àwọn náà máa sá padà sẹ́yìn wọn mọ̀ pé àwọn eléyìí ti ṣe tán bọ̀ tó bá kí fún wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan tó gba bára pé ìjọba ni amúnimóògùn yìí tó ìjọba olómúyàn móògùn kí ìjọba tó mú ẹ móògùn wá ti fògùn pàdánù tó nǹkan kankan tó wà ń bẹ̀ nìyẹn kí ìjọba gan tó kàn fẹ́ mú ẹ tán sọ kókó wá mú ẹ tó bá ti kọ́kọ́ mú mọ́lẹ̀ gan tó bí ò tiẹ̀ pa kó kọ́kọ́ mú mọ́lẹ̀ kí àwọn ẹ̀ yọ fún ẹ sí kó máa yọ sí ẹ lọ́wọ́ sí
táwọn ìyàwó ẹ
tán bá ní kó wá bá ẹ kò ní wá mọ́.
Táwọn ìyàwó ẹ ò rí bá ti ṣe táwọn ọmọ ò lè lọ school.
Na òun gan next time kò ní sọ pé òun fẹ́ wá mọ́ ṣèbí àwọn ló ń bẹ̀rù ẹni tí ò ní kankan tó yẹ pé we need to stand up for ourselves we just need to akàn ní láti dìde fún ara wa ní ká mọ̀ nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan tí màá kàn sọ nìyẹn because all this gbogbo eléyìí tá a bá sọ pé kí àwọn America tábà ní káwọn Amẹ́ríkà máa bọ̀ bí ìgbà tí from pan to fire ni àwọn náà ló kú bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ àwọn náà ló ń finance wọn tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ so ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n á sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ wá rescue inú rescue yẹn náà tẹ̀bà àti gbogbo nǹkan tó ń fẹ́ náà tẹ̀bà àti gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ wọ́n á kú wọ́n á tẹ̀ wá ṣe clear off ó tán nìyẹn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni o.
so àwa ni ká mọ̀ nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe opportunity ni ilé fún wa nígbà tí gbogbo kan opportunity ni ilé fún wa nígbà tí gbogbo kan dàrú láti mú tí ò bá dàrú belé kò ní tò bó ṣe dàrú yìí sí ló yẹ kí gbogbo wa dìde àwọn bàbá wa tán dìde tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ kan dìde kan voice out kán má dákẹ́ àwa náà tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ náà ká má dákẹ́ ká mọ̀ yín pé yes kan tá a fẹ́ ṣe lélẹ̀ ká dẹ̀ mí sọ pé a ṣe. bọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ kì í ṣe gbogbo ọ̀lẹ́yàn lè sọ online ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní ẹ̀yin bàbá wa náà sọ yí pé ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ òkun àgbọ̀n so gbogbo nǹkan tí èèyàn bá sọ ọlọ́gbọ́n náà ló máa yé àwa ni ká kàn mọ́ báyẹn máa ṣe kí Lédùmarè kó ràn wá lọ́wọ́
kí Lédùmarè kó fún wa ṣe
ṣọlábọ̀ ìbọn iṣẹ́
ògbó àtọ́ àsúrò ìwòrìwò fún ẹ ṣeun bá mi omi mo ṣe bá jú ń lọ ọ̀rọ̀ tájọ sọ lónìí náà ló jẹ́ kí n kára wá mo bínú wá sílé wá ṣe powerpoint yìí ni kò ń ṣe kí mo ti ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ gbọ́ngbà tẹ́mi àti yín jọ sọ̀rọ̀ tán ni mo bínú wálé wá ṣe kí ni powerpoint yìí pé àwọn láti address ọ̀rọ̀ yìí so hopefully people find this useful. Hopefully we got something we can all take away from it. But for me, I think it's good news. We've looked at the various options and it's clear that the only options which is going to work for us as citizens is basically that we organize ourselves and defend our lives and property. So, bá ṣe máa lè ṣe o kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń bọ̀ wá gbà wá lẹ̀ o àwa la máa ní láti gba ara wa o Èdùmàrè á fún wa ṣe àwọn ọ̀rúnmọlẹ̀ àgbè wa o. So yeah, thanks to everybody for your amazing contributions. Like I said, I didn't want this live to be too long today. So I appreciate all the wonderful people who have come in and contributed. Quite a lot of people. It's actually my first time speaking to. So Eze Kuku Mikey came up and he made some very wonderful submissions. I appreciated it. He had a different opinion. That's absolutely fine. But I like the way that he expressed his opinion. I really appreciated it. A few other people, Oasis come up. He made some very good submission. I think it was a Big J came up. He made some good submissions. Babami Omini, he made some good submissions. So look, it's the same problem. It's the same challenge that we are facing. We may have different opinions about how we need to go about resolving it. But I think we just need to be careful that, ultimately only us can save us. Only we can save ourselves. So, and I think ultimately that's where the solution lies. Let's not fall for the trick. Let's not fall for the propaganda of people telling us that there are foreigners that can come and save us. No. They have never saved us before throughout our history. They have always punished us. They've always abused us. They've always taken advantage of us, of our women, of our children, of our land, and of our property. So clearly that's never going to work. So let's not be fooled. Let's take control. Let's go back into our communities. Let's start organizing ourselves. Let's start doing whatever we can to protect ourselves. I think that's the solution, and that's what we have to do. So we're going to look within our communities, our community leaders that are talking along the lines of citizens organizing ourselves and protecting ourselves. Let's rally behind them. Let's support them. If there are any bastards among us who are still saying the government is going to come and save us, or the white daddy, big daddy Trump is going to come and save us, we need to start shutting them down and pushing them down. Like, okay, you be like, hey, you they crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Go and sit down. We don't want to hear from you, because our leaders are going to come with solutions which is not going to work, or which is going to worsen our condition. We have to start shutting them up and pushing them to the back of the queue. Okay, so it's only people that have sense that we should be supporting and rallying behind. So ultimately our matters is only going to it's in our own hands. So may the Almighty protect us. May the Almighty give us the dedication and the determination that we need to protect ourselves, protect our women, protect our children, protect our land, protect our resources, and protect our people. We have our differences in different communities. I deliberately didn't make this just a Yoruba topic today, we have our differences in Nigeria, but we also have a common enemy. So we can come back and argue our differences later on once we have peace and prosperity. But for now, I believe it makes sense. It's sensible that we unite and defend ourselves, defend our land, defend our sovereignty against a common enemy. That's what we should be doing. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. Hopefully we'll be able to get over our petty little differences for the greater good. So this is Ori Rere, MDotBravo, presenting to you today on behalf of our sponsors, Yoruba Ronu Publishing. So for those of you, if you are not following the page, please feel free to do that. At the moment, we also we offer Yoruba language training, Yoruba language courses. We're offering that in addition to Isheshe Foundation that we're doing. So if anyone is interested in that, please follow the page, make an inquiry. We can definitely bring you up to speed with the courses and the teachings that we're doing in relation to that. If you have a look on my page, there are you can see some clips of the past lectures if you want to familiarize with the way the course is structured. But if anyone is interested in joining, definitely reach out to me. If you're not interested in that, you just like when we do political topics, feel free to follow the page. From time to time, we are going to have to. We can look before. You could say maybe a few years ago, some people would say, oh, I'm not into politics, I don't like politics, I don't talk about politics, I'm not interested. But those days are gone, isn't it? Now, nobody can escape it because politics is no longer something that is for the elite. It affects every single one of us from the top to the bottom. It affects everybody because at the end of the day, when we go to the market, people don't ask you when they say the price of gari or the price of rice is doubled 10 times in the last 12 months. They're not going to ask you, oh, do you follow politics? Are you interested in politics? They're not asking you that before they give you the price. Okay, the price of gari and rice is still for everybody. It's still the same. It's expensive for everybody. They're not gonna ask you, are you Igbo or are you Yoruba? They're not gonna ask you, are you Christian or are you Muslim or traditionalist? They're not asking anybody that. At the end of the day, the price of goods in the market is the same for all of us, and it's terrible. Everybody's feeling the pinch. So it's about time that we unite against a common factor. And when we get rich, when we have freedom and we have security back in our land, we'll have time to be having those petty little arguments. But I think what's demanded of us today is that we unite and protect ourselves. Let's fight for our land, for our people, for our sovereignty. And later, after we're free and everybody's fine, everybody's thriving again, we can go back to having our petty little arguments that we love to have. But that's a luxury. We don't have that luxury at the moment. Anyway, so we're going to call it a day. If anyone's missed it and you would like to go back, I am going to make an effort to post the video, the full video. I'll post it on our YouTube channel, which is Yoruba Ronu Publishing. I'll post that on our YouTube channel. If not tonight, definitely by tomorrow. So for those who have missed the show and you would like to go back and watch it live and have a look at the various points that's been discussed, various opinions and submissions, then obviously feel free to revisit that on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your contributions. Thanks for joining. Oluwo Ifalola Abiodun Akoni, Duke of Beje Kingdom. Thanks for joining us today. Much appreciated. Eze Ikuku Mikey, thanks for joining us today as well, and thanks for your wonderful submissions.
Yeah,
Babami Ominiyi, Eteswaju Bami. I think your line is breaking up, sir. Ó dà pé network ni okay, I think close, I think wrap up náà ni o. Ó dà kí ìyá mi dára ìrẹsì mi ni bàbá mi omi ní ìfẹ́ kí. Okay, okay, mi bàbá, okay,
network.
Yeah, it's your network. But we just, okay. Are you back with us or? Okay, it's padà wá. Okay, a máa ní láti fìyẹn sọ́jọ́ mi o, mo ṣe bá dún ní lọ o. So mo kí gbogbo ilé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. Until we meet again, have lovely evenings. Goodbye. Ó dàárọ̀.